This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down one of their records. We get into the music, the lyrics, how it was made, and everything in between. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, tell all your friends, share all the posts. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. That's all I have for the boring intro. So what are we doing today, Jeff? Go as you're sipping your beer. Sipping the beers.
Sipping the beer. We're doing Third Eye Blinds, Third Eye Blinds.
Yes, we are. Third Eye Blinds,
Cracking
Third
the
Eye
gears.
Blind, 1997 debut record. Iconic. And this is the end of 90s season. We are wrapping up 90s season with Third Eye Blind's Third Eye Blind. It's been a long season. This is probably one of the I think this is the longest season we've ever done on the podcast.
Because it started with 2 fucking kind of duds. So
What, 311?
That's
It was 311 and what? Oh,
An
Stone Temple
STP.
Pilots. That's right. Yeah, and then a couple more duds with Marcy Playground and Everclear. Yeah, you're right.
Hold on there, dude. Hold on there, dude.
But the last two, Presidents of the United States and Third Eye Blind, great enders
Dang,
to
so we
90s.
did 311, STP, Everclear, Marcy Playground, Presidents of America, Smashing Pumpkins. And
Oh,
Third
yes,
Eye
Pumpkins,
Blind.
yeah.
7 weeks.
That is a long
of
season.
90 seasons.
Wow. I love it.
And all we did was the same fucking genre, essentially, is all we fucking just did.
I know. And actually, technically, what we're doing after this is a 90s band, 90s album, but it transitions into the next season. So
next season,
yeah. So anyway, Third Eye Blind. What's your origin story with this band? Go.
My mom loved this band, loved this record. She got it when it came out. I've subsequently liked it ever since. She's seen him live.
Really?
I don't think she's seen him in the Kevin Cadigan era, but she's seen him live a couple times, and she loves him. She's seen him when she was younger, and she had me pretty young, so like younger for her. It's still when this came out, we were 10. Actually, this came out on my birthday. It came out on April 8th, my birthday.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's great.
so I was 10 exactly when this came out. So she's seen him and I guess in her 20s, right? Like 18, 20. Yeah, she's seen them in her 20s, and then
Your
also
mom
like
had
in her 40s.
at 18 or 19?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Young stuff.
Yeah.
Young guns.
Young Guns.
Dude, by the time my mom was like, I guess 22, 23, she had 2 kids and both of her parents were dead.
That's wild. That's fucking
Can you
wild, man.
imagine?
Yeah.
Fuck. That's something. That's
Yeah.
something. So yeah, this is just like this Smash, like those 2 records my mom has always liked. And yeah, I don't know. I've loved this honestly since I was like fucking 10. Straight up.
When it came out.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So my origin story is Semi Charm Life. Off this record, they used to play it on Kiss FM. Because back then I wasn't even listening to K-Rock yet.
Kiss FM.
Wait, no, that's KRF 101.
Yeah.
That's KRF 101. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But the
That
way
was
you
KRF
said
101.
Kiss FM was very.
Remember
KRF
Kiss
101.
FM used to do that? Kiss FM.
They did. Yeah, it was very similar to KRF 101. KRF 101, Los Angeles. So dumb. But anyway, I heard Semi Charm Life. I heard Semi Charm Life on Kiss FM back in the day. And I just loved it. My mom was never into this kind of music, but this is one of the first 4 CDs I ever got. So my first one was Green Day. I got Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. I got the soundtracks of the All That Show, and I got Third Eye Blind's Third Eye Blind. Those are the first 4 CDs I ever got.
2 bangers.
Yes. Yeah.
1 acceptable and 1 stupid.
One stupid. Yeah. But all that soundtrack. Were you talking about all that, or are you talking about Alanis?
No, all that was acceptable. Atlantis was stupid.
Okay, got it. Okay, makes sense. So yeah, that's my origin story of Semi Charm Life, and then this record in general. I mean, I've listened to this record so many fucking times over the years. It was always in my CD player when I was a kid, through high school, middle school, everything like that, up until now. I listened to this week. I've listened to this record probably 5 times. It's that good. It's never lost its charm. It's fucking great. So
Yeah.
that's my origin story, and also my initial thoughts. This album's great. So what are your initial thoughts?
It's
First impressions, whatever.
it's kind of taken a different path since we started collecting the vinyls, and now that we have this on the vinyls, it's taken on as this like night ender, right?
Yeah.
This is, you throw this on kind of like at nighttime, and we're kind of like ready to end the night, at least listening to vinyls, maybe Like for me, I usually go downstairs, make some food, and then watch something on TV before I retire to the quarters. And it's kind of taken on a different approach. So I think like what I like and what I expect to get out of this record has changed since we've put this on later at night. Like as a morning record, you get something different than you do as a night record. As a night record, I've now gravitated more towards the latter half, even though the first half of this record's fucking just as great. But now I'm getting more out of it. I'm getting more out of the second half of this record now that it's become an ender on the vinyls.
Right, yeah. And wrapping up the night, winding down. This is certainly this is a great wind down record for me as well. But I mean, this record can be played at any time, and it's great year round. It's a great year round record because there are some albums that you only want to listen to during the summer, only certain albums you want to listen to during the winter, spring, whatever. But this record it defies all of that. You can listen to this record at any time of the year, any time of day. Also, we've done this record once before in a forgotten episode. I think we did it back in 2018, maybe 2019. So very, very long time ago. And I feel like we didn't do it justice. I know we loved it back then and we still do, but it just gets better with age. Yeah. It's too good. Gets better with age. Fantastic record. So let's start with this. Do you have any bangers on this record?
Do I have any bangers? Yes,
I mean, stinkers. I don't know why I said stinkers. Do you have stinkers on this record?
No, I don't have any stinkers.
No. How many bangers do you have?
I have 14.
I have 14 bangers as well. No stinkers. So let's jump into this. Let's get into your 1B, your number one banger. What do you got?
Here we go. This was tough. It is tough. There was two songs here that went back and forth because one song I fucking love exponentially, but I still put Semi-Charmed Life as my 1B.
Same here.
I don't give a fuck, man.
I know. I agree. This is my 1B as well. Honestly, when I've gone through, I've got all of these have changed so much over this last week because I'll hear one song and I'm like, is this song better than Graduate? Is it better than Burning Man? Or do I like this song more than that? Like it's so hard to throw most of these over the other because they're all so fucking amazing. But Semi-Charmed Life, it's such a beyond banger, and it is the first song I heard from the band as well. So it's the best one. It's the best. So what do you got on this one?
For me, it was kind of the same thing. It was starting with like Losing a Whole Year and the Narcolepsy. Like, okay, is Narcolepsy better than Losing a Whole Year? Which one is better? Okay, done. Here's where we put those B's. Yeah. And then Semi-Charmed. Okay, that's better. Yes. And then I had to go through every single song. Okay, is this actually better than this song? But is it better than this song? Okay, I can squeeze it in there. So I was more meticulous in placing these songs than any other band that we do on the pod, except for Blink. Like that's the only other band that I go through this much trouble of placing these songs, and that's just because it's fucking fun and silly to see those rankings.
It's true.
But yeah, Semi-Charmed Life. This is this song is like goofy and cheesy and amazing in like all of the best ways. Like this kind of like goofy 90s hip hop type delivery thing.
Yeah.
But some things that I kind of like picked up on here is like Aaron. I'm going to call him Aaron because his name is spelled dumb.
Yeah, just say Aaron. Yeah.
Aaron. Dude's got some real slick parts. Like he really does. Keeping pace and driving this song forward in a way like I never realized. He's very, very funky in his riffing, but it's like it's smooth enough to mask it for top 40s radio play. Like don't get too crazy because we still need to sell this to the masses. And that's essentially why Third Eye Blind got signed is because they're top 40s radio hit shit. They're like Madonna of the 90s. And that's fine because they write fucking amazing songs. But the song is really defined by Steven singing pace.
Yeah.
Right? Like what
he does so much. He does so much. On top of the rapping, he has like this falsetto stuff that when he sings goodbye, I can't even try to sing it. Like
everybody sings the same way, right?
It drops into the do. It's it's so incredibly catchy.
Yeah, and everything's just Kevin's aggressive chords, right? Clean chords, minimal distortion, like super trebly.
But it's Kevin but the guitar too. It's like it's a very funky kind of thing he's playing, but it has that distortion to it. So I feel like it takes away from the funk sound, but the rhythm is very, very funky, very, very funky. So it gives that kind of like, it gives it that danceable thing. And then the drums are very, very bouncy and very hoppy. Hoppy bouncy is like the best way to describe the drumming. So you have that mixed with the funk riff, the almost kind of funk riff with the rapping and it's just this song. There's so many styles, so many things going into the song, but yet it's very cohesive. It doesn't sound disjointed whatsoever. It's just a perfectly crafted song. Fucking love it.
Yeah. And this band is not, except for Kevin. I think Kevin is like really, really good at what he does. But Brad Wilk and Aaron, they're both good. They're both good at what they do. They're not fucking, they're not reinventing anything, but they're both pretty goddamn good. They're both
solid
good
rhythm
musicians.
section. What is Brad's last? It's obviously not Wilk. What's
I don't know what the fuck his last name is. It's just I will never forget Brad because it's also Wilk. Brad Hargreaves.
Hargreaves. There you go.
Sounds like a bad guy. Sounds like a villain in a fucking Marvel movie.
It kind of does, huh? Yeah.
I think there's a villain in Jessica Jones. Is one of the villains. Is like something Greaves.
Brad Hargreaves, and then Aaron Salazar. That's also kind of like that last name Salazar. It's very kind of evil villain as well. You know.
I was from if you ever watched 24 with Kiefer Sutherland. One of the
that show's stupid. It's true. It is. I didn't like it when it came out. I didn't like when it came out, and then I watched. And then you made me watch an episode when I was out there like a year ago, and that show is not very good.
Out of context, I showed you one episode.
Yeah.
Which one? The one where he points a gun to his partner's head and he's going to tell him he's going to kill him? That was from the Salazars. That was the bad guy in season 3 with the Salazars. They were like the cartel. And Kiefer Sutherland held the gun to his partner's head because his partner's like, he was undercover and the cartel guy was like, if you don't kill your partner, then we're going to kill both of you anyway. And so he held the gun to his partner's head and he clicked it. And for all intents and purposes, like he just killed him. And so later on, his partner Chase, he was like, "You're going to fucking kill me." He's like, "No, I didn't. I knew the gun wasn't loaded based on the weight." And like they both kind of looked at each other and they accepted, like, "Yes, I know you're full of shit, but I'm going to accept that because you did what had to be done." That's good shit.
No,
right
it's
there.
Fucking cheesy as
That's
fuck.
good right there. How is that cheesy? How is that cheesy?
It just is.
He knew, they both knew that was bullshit excuse. They both knew that. They both knew that when he pulled that trigger, he thought he was going to kill him. But when he said, I knew there was no bullets in it because I could feel the weight. They both knew that was a lie. But you had to say something. You can't just be like, "Hey, I was gonna fucking kill you, dude." Like they're both a mutual respect. They're based on that lie that they both knew was a lie. That's good shit right there.
It's something.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was quite the rant.
Don't be saying fucking 24
it's not that great of a
show.
It's not that great of a show.
Well, you went from bad to not that great, so we're getting there.
Okay, it's bad. No, it's
whittling
bad.
away.
No,
whittling away.
I'll go back to what I said. It's bad.
It's not a bad show.
It's a bad show. Anyway, continue the joke. Semi-Charmed Life.
I don't know where we were there.
I don't know either.
Oh, it was the fact that like everybody except for Steven and Kevin are just like, they're good, but they're not great. But Steven and Kevin are great at what they do. But I think this song over everything else shows everybody at their best.
Mm-hmm.
That's why for me, like it's number one. Like this is the best bass playing Aaron has showed, matched with the best that Brad Wilk has done drumming wise on this record, matched with not Kevin's best performance, but this is the first time, actually maybe this is the only time on the whole record where Kevin lets everyone else just be their best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because Kevin's really fucking good. And like his approach is just like, let me just let all my chords breathe, right? He did a lot of open tunings here. He didn't use a lot of like pedals. I think he only used like 1 or 2 pedals at most. And everything was just like, let the chords ring out. How much sound can I get out of just open, clean chords?
Yeah, it's true.
And fucking slayed.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Slayed. So, yeah, this song, I mean, this is arguably their biggest hit. I mean, it's still played on the radio to this day. I mean, back when I was listening to the radio a lot a couple years ago, when I was at work, this song would always play. It was always being played. It's crazy. What are we, over 25 years on? Almost 30 years now? And it's still constantly on rotation. This song, Jumper, How's It Gonna Be? Probably Never Let You Go as well.
Never Let You Go.
These songs are Narcolepsy, always played on the radio. So many singles. I mean, this record has sold over 6 million copies. And that 6 million copies were like within the first couple of years of the record coming out. So at this point, who knows how, like when you include streaming and all that kind of stuff, how many records this is sold. It's crazy. It's crazy. So
This is, I mean, this really is kind of like a defining sound of the 90s, because this is
yes,
late 90s, and so we're well past grunge at this point, right? Because we move quick in the record business, and so we're kind of looking for that new sound. We're looking for what's going to be next after like Kurt Cobain is dead, and this thing comes out, and like it, dude, it just takes everybody, like everything by storm. And it's
Yeah.
just it's wild how popular this becomes, how fast, how much of an institution this band becomes based off of this sound.
I mean,
off of this record,
this
and
is
it's only it's just top 40 shit, dude. It's nothing
know.
crazy.
I would say this is one of the top 5 greatest records of the 90s, hands down. Like
For
you could
sure.
I would throw this up there with Nirvana's Nevermind. I would throw it up with Weezer's Blue. I mean, objectively, Weezer's Blue, is one of the biggest albums of the decade. I mean, as much as you would make fun, people would make fun of you, but one of the Korn records, whether it's Korn's first record or Follow the Leader, I mean, arguably that's one of the biggest records of the decade. That ushered, especially Korn's Korn, that ushered in a whole genre of music into this hemisphere. You know what I mean? So it's like this goes down as one of the great records of the 90s.
There's
Hands
definitely
down.
like an argument to be made that this really didn't do anything for music, right? Like, again, I think this is just top 40 hits. Like, this is just
but it didn't revolutionize
butt
anything.
rock, as they say, right? There's nothing crazy about this. Like, Nirvana was a voice of a generation, and like
you could argue Weezer's
rap
Blue
and the Chronic, and that's something that did something for music. And this didn't really do anything for music, but like, fuck me, dude. Like, there was rarely a record that came out that was just like, damn, that was good. Like, everybody, no matter what genre of music you listen to, you throw this on and people are just like, damn, that's pretty good.
All the non-singles too. It's just every song on here could have been a single, except for like maybe the last song.
God Wine,
yeah, that one, and
14B.
then there's another song too that's like, that wouldn't fly as a single, but everything else could have been a single on this record. That's remarkable. Honestly, it truly, truly is. But dude, I have nothing negative to say about this record. I literally have nothing negative to say about it
because it's amazing. And if like Oasis can draw a crowd, right?
Yeah.
Then like Third Eye Blind should be able to draw that same exact crowd and make them realize that they've wasted so much money watching Oasis play live. Because that's really what this band is. It's just that's much better Oasis.
That's literally what they did. They opened up for Oasis, and after Oasis played, the band wanted an encore from Third Eye Blind, so they played 2 sets. That story is not talked about enough. It really is not. I mean, how is it Oasis were on top of the fucking world in the 90s?
Yeah.
Everybody
like this.
Everybody pretended like they loved. Yeah. Everybody pretended like they loved Oasis, but yet this band comes out of fucking nowhere. Third Eye Blind comes out of nowhere. I think it was before this record even came out. Right?
Yeah.
It was before this album even came out. So they had no radio airplay, maybe college radio, but nothing like mainstream, no K-Rock, nothing like that. And yet they played a full set. Oasis played. The crowd wanted more of Third Eye Blind. And they what the hell? What the fuck is this? Their whole career, Third Eye Blind in the 90s, their career is so rare. It's so unusual. None of it makes any fucking sense at all. None of it makes sense.
Again, dude, like it's just because everybody that heard their music was like, wow, it's pretty fucking good.
Like, this is beyond good. Yeah.
I don't know, generic. That's what genre this is.
Yes,
it's fucking generic.
It's indie rock.
Wow.
Indie rock at its most
good.
generic. Yeah.
And so that going back to that story too, because I read some interviews, and Billboard did an interview too with Steven and Kevin on the 20th anniversary, so 2020,
but not
2017.
Together. But they weren't together.
Yeah. But so like butts for pooping, dude.
They are.
It took me like 3 different clicks to realize that the Billboard interview that they did with them, Kevin and Steven were not together in that same phone call. Because like Sylvia Rhone was there, and they talked to them, and then because the reason why I figured it out was because throughout the interview, Steven would never mention Kevin's name unless it was absolutely necessary. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird not to see like my friend right here or whatever. But then I realized they're not together. So anyway, like in that interview, like Steven had said that the demos for Third Eye Blind is eventually what became their self-titled, and they played the Viper Room at one of their earliest shows, and that's where Sylvia Rhone, the girl that took over Elektra, and then subsequently when Elektra merged with Atlantic, but she was the one like that was kind of instrumental in getting them signed, and they kept going in and out of Epic Records, and then Elektra. And one of the last things that Steven said that got him their big break was he went into the office one last time and he's like, I'm fucking tired of these people just not giving us a chance. Like, I know my music is good. And so the guy asked him, what can I do for you today? You walk into somebody's office and what can I do for you today?
Yeah.
And according to Steven, according to lore, the guy, the rep said, what can I do for you today? And he's like, let us open up for Oasis in Frisco next week. And that was it. And supposedly I said, all right, I'll do that for you. And he did it. And the rest is kind of history. And that was the whole thing. And they opened up for Oasis. And then backstage too, there was a story that Steven said where they were drinking beers or some shit. And he tried to throw a beer can, Michael Jordan it, fucking all the way across the room. And it hit Liam, hit one of the Gallaghers in the head. And he flipped his lid and was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Whichever one is known to flip their lid.
I think they both do. I think they both do it. They're
one
both
of them's a little bit more.
They're both fucking insufferable assholes. I fucking hate.
Well, they both hate each other for sure. But one of them is a little bit more business savvy and is like, this is not a good look for us if we just fight all the band people backstage. Yeah. But one of them basically threatened to stab Steven. Don't you ever fucking do that to me again? Do you know who we are? We're Oasis. And then went so far to say your band is shit. You're never gonna go anywhere. And then that's when they opened up for Oasis that night. And again, when we went to the rankings. That's what Blue suffers from, is that drive, that passion. And this was before they released their first record, and they come out and they play a set opening for Oasis after Morning Glory, right? So we already have the massive fucking hits of Champagne Supernova's already out, and the world is just like, holy shit, because it's still a catchy fucking song. It's still a catchy song.
Dude, I hate this. I hate this Oasis love. I hate that people like Oasis so much. They're not that
I don't
great.
like Oasis. I know you. I think Champagne Supernova is not a good fucking song. It's a catchy song.
It's fine. It's a fun little.
It's swing. Fine. It's cute. It's cute. But yeah, they open for Oasis and blow them out of the water, and they have an encore, and they come back out and they get another big fat check, and that's it. They become Third Eye Blind, but they never recapture that passion because. After they record this one, they start to hate each other, and Steven Jenkins.
Well, they hate each other from the front, from the beginning, while they were recording this.
I think probably that specific show when they went on that stage, and they probably realized that, damn, we are really, really good. Like I know my music's good, and in a band you should believe in yourself. In anything you do in life, you should believe in yourself. But when it gets to be like vindication, oh, now see, I told you I am good. And Steven Jenkins probably took it to the extreme where it's like, see, fuck you. I told you I'm good. Not we're good. I'm good. And I think that first show is probably when it started to go downhill.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. Cause I mean,
they're never the same after that, even when they're recording this stuff, right?
They were fighting. Yeah. I mean, cause I watched several interviews with Steven. I didn't watch any with Kevin. Just because, I mean, I don't know why I didn't watch any with Kevin, but I watched a few with Steven. I watched the Rick Beato interview that he did a couple months ago. I watched the one he did with Ted Stryker on Tuna on Toast, from 2 years ago. And then I watched some random things over the years. But yeah, I mean, it just seems like from the start of the recording process of this record, it was just him and Kevin were constantly at odds with each other. And during the interview that Steven did with Stryker on Tuna on Toast, he did not bring up Kevin's name at all. Yeah. But with do you watch the Rick Beato one? I assume you do. Yeah. So on that one, he brought him up a couple times.
Only because Rick pushed him.
Yeah, Rick kept pushing him on the whole Kevin thing, and he brought it up, and he's like, we did some good. He pretty much said we did some good stuff together, but it was toxic from the start. It was a toxic relationship from the start. But he at least acknowledged Kevin's existence, and he acknowledged his contribution to that record, to this record, and it's
Rick
so
literally
important.
said, "Who, Kevin?" because Steven kept saying the band at the time, the members at the time. It's
he was skirting around it.
Kevin? A lot. It's no, dude. I don't know him personally, but everything I've seen and read about Steven is he's the biggest piece of shit, the biggest fucking pleb that you could possibly work with.
Yeah. Well, remember the Jimmy Eat World thing a couple years ago when they toured with them, and Zach, the drummer from Jimmy Eat World, posted on Instagram or on his social media saying, "I'm not going to say who it is, but we will never ever tour with this band or something like that ever again."
Yeah,
he straight up pretty much called him an asshole. It was very, very unpleasant. And that's pretty wild for any band to come out and say like, we don't like this other band is big. Like you have to do a lot of dumb shit for another band to burn bridges.
To be
That
fair,
never
Jimmy
happens.
Eat World is notorious for being kind of babies themselves.
That's true. Yeah, that's true too.
But it's
That's
not
true.
just them that say like Steven's an asshole. So
Well, and look at all the lawsuits against Steven as well.
Dude,
Like
bro.
almost nearly every band except for the drummer, because the drummer is still in the band. Because Brad, I think it's Brad. Brad's been he's
Brad
the only
Hargreaves, yeah, he's the
Brad
only
is the
one.
only consistent member as well. He's the only one who hasn't sued Steven. Like former
Yeah, that's
producers,
because he wants to
management.
make a living in a band. He just knows to shut his fucking mouth.
Literally all the band members that have played with the band have sued him. Management have sued him. Producers have sued him. Like Stephen Jenkins has burned every fucking bridge except Billy Corgan, which is so weird
So-
because Billy Corgan is also known for burning bridges. But
I just saw somebody walk by the door behind you.
oh really? Oh, it must have been
Yeah.
Tammy. I mean, Tammy's the only one here, so I hope it was Tammy.
Yeah,
I
it's-
hear
it's-
her screwing around. Yeah, I just
No, I saw it
I
again.
just saw her walk by again. Yeah, she was in the. That's our storage room back there. The storage bedroom. Your
What
old
do you-
bedroom actually.
What are you
So-
storing there?
Like toilet paper, paper towel, like that kind of shit, soap and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's funny that Brad is still in the band because throughout the course of their career, if he has any writing credits on any song, it's got to be less than like 3,
yeah,
and that's why he's still in the band, and that's funny.
yeah. He puts up with Stephen Jenkins, and I don't want to talk too much shit on Stephen because he 100%. He is an amazing songwriter on this, especially on this first record. And if it wasn't for his drive and how he felt, I don't want to say ego. Well, I guess it is his ego. If it hadn't been for that, this band would not have blown up. I mean,
No.
these songs could have been written, but had he not been out there and kind of like really, really pushed the band and himself, like to the record executives, this record would not have been anything. So
Yeah.
without that, I mean, he's seems like a kind of an asshole, but without that drive and that way of being, this band, this record would have been nothing.
Oh, and the fact that he wrote some really fucking amazing hooks and melodies and,
Yeah, but-
and songs.
But had he not pushed the certain labels and everything like that, the songs would have
Yeah.
never gotten out there. Especially in the had it been now, it would be totally different. But in the mid '90s, he could have written these amazing songs, and it would have gone nowhere. You know, you would have had maybe some underground following, but they would have never blown up to what they are now had he not had that drive.
Because like this era of the 90s, right? We're getting to late 90s here, and we don't know like where the direction of music is going to go. Like what's going to be the next big thing, and how are we going to recuperate from like the death of the rock star, and labels don't know what they want, and like rap is blowing up too. Like gangster rap is
Yeah.
getting so much traction, it's becoming so fucking big. And like this comes out, and this really is just like fucking top 40s, like basic shit. Dude, there's
Yeah.
nothing crazy about this whatsoever. And so yeah, this, if it wasn't for Steven, this would have just been like a cult classic, right? We would be talking about this in the eyes of some like gatekeepy pretentious fuck. We're like,
Oh, yeah.
well, we all forget about the 90s and Third Eye Blind. Like it just so happens that Steven would not take no for an answer, and they played their hearts out, and now
They worked their
it's-
asses off. Like they
There's never
really
even
did
like a
work their
top
asses off.
fucking list. Like if you look at, I mean, Rolling Stone, right? But you just like Google, I don't know, top records in the 90s, and like this is never in top 20,
That's
30,
crazy.
40.
That's crazy. I
That's
mean,
because it didn't do anything for
Yeah,
music, right?
that's what I was
Like,
gonna say.
That's why.
yeah, like you mentioned it. Yeah, it didn't revolutionize any genre, but it fucking perfected. It perfected indie rock, pop rock.
Like, all of it.
Yeah, it
This
really
is alt
did.
rock to a T. Like this is the best of it. It's so fucking perfect. It's
It really
so
is.
good.
I
Like, if
know.
you're gonna be vanilla, be the best fucking be the Thrifty of vanilla, right? Be that vanilla.
Thrifty ice
Thrifty
cream is
vanilla
good.
is fucking good.
Thrifty ice cream in general is good. People
God
outside the
damn,
U.S.
shit's
probably
good.
don't know what thrifty is, but
They'll
thrifty
never
ice
know.
cream,
The fuck do they know
Wow.
about ice cream?
fucking
Shit.
delicious. Fucking delicious.
The best.
The best, Jerry. The best. You know, never mind. I'm not going to get into it. It doesn't matter. It would be such a hyper regional thing, like tangent. It's not even worth talking about.
Gotcha. Okay.
But when you're out here next, maybe we can get some thrifty ice cream. There's a place local here.
The one in Village? No, not Village Center. The one by Fairmont?
That no, because Thrifty. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go down this road. Remember, Thrifty ice cream was only ever sold at Walgreens. So Walgreens, or was it Walgreens? One of those pharmacies. But Rite Aid. It was Rite Aid. Rite Aid pharmacies went out of business. So everybody thought Thrifty ice cream was going to be gone, but they kind of did their own thing. And the gas station right next to Canyon Inn, the bar, the 76 gas station,
What?
they sell Thrifty ice cream. Like you can not just like they'll scoop it out for you, and yeah, they have a little like Thrifty ice cream.
Was it there last time I was there when we were so?
It was there. Yeah, it's next to the cash register.
Why did we not get Thrifty? Well, we were pretty drunk.
Well, we were actually very drunk.
We were very drunk.
But yeah, but no, they sell the Thrifty ice cream right there.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that is a hyper regional tangent. So Semi-Charmed Life. Lyrically, what do you have lyrically on this one?
So like, I mean, we'll get into lyrics overall, but lyrically, I think he's a good songwriter.
Yes.
He has messages he wants to convey. I think the word choices he uses are great, and they're really they're everything's great. Everything's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't listen to this record for the lyrics. I listen to this record because I fucking love this music. So we'll get into the lyrics, but I have 10% lyric notes and I have 90% lyric or music notes.
I'm with you on that one. I think he's a really good lyricist, but that's not a strong point.
Here.
Yeah, it's not a strong point, and that's not even a diss on him because they are good lyrics.
They're fucking good.
But the songs, the melodies are just fantastic. So, well, what do you have on this one?
Semi-Charmed Life. Steven had said in one of the many interviews where he changes his tune constantly. He had said that the song was just about like chasing the dream of stardom and just always wanting more. But it's kind of packaged in this very upbeat, catchy song that's like sort of depressive, addictive lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just his way of channeling like that chasing the dragon, but it wasn't drugs, it was fame.
Yeah,
that was it.
And the way he compares it is he throws some like analogies and stuff in there, comparing it to like doing speed and sex and things like doing sex. Some people say
doing sex.
Borat. Is that
doing
really
sex? I don't know. It sounds like something
does
Borat
sound
would
very
say.
Borat. Yeah, right.
But it wasn't even until this week. And I know we've done Third Eye Blind on the pod before, but it wasn't until this week where I even read these lyrics.
Yeah, because when we did it, we weren't lyric men on the pod yet, so we did not take any sort of deep dive in the lyrics. It was a lot more superficial. Yeah. So,
but he also said that this was a nod to like Lou Reed, right?
Yeah,
and like to take a walk on the wild side thing, the do Lou do, there's do.
Except Stephen Jenkins is better than Lou Reed, and I don't care. I think Lou Reed is very overrated. I think Velvet Underground is very underrated or overrated.
You're right. They are underrated.
I'm sorry, overrated.
I totally agree with you.
Overrated. Oy vey.
That's okay. All right. Those are opinions, dude. Everyone's got them. They're like buttholes.
Well, that's true. All right. So, dude, butthole is such a funny word.
Butthole?
Damn, I heard something today. Somebody, instead of calling somebody a butt, they called somebody a butthole, and I thought it was so much funnier than just calling somebody a butt.
I think if you're in an actual argument, you're really mad at somebody, but like you both kind of know like this is a dumb argument. Just call them a butthole. Like, dude, you're being a butthole right now, like straight up.
Yeah.
And then butt cheeks too. Like butt cheeks is a funny.
That's a good
phrase.
one too. Yeah, butt cheeks is good.
So
all right. Anyway, 0-2. So what do you got for your 2B? What? All right. So what do you got for number? Yeah. What do you got for number 2? What's your 2B? 2-banger.
My 2B, which is very, very, very close to being a 1B, like fucking just barely. It just did not edge Semi-Charmed Life. But Burning Man is my 2B.
Burning Man. Yeah, that's my 5B.
Yeah. Dude, this song's boss, man. Boss ass right here.
Boss.
The way he says these words are just they're so like self-deprecating, but also very pompous at the same time. Like he owns these fucking words. Everything that he says, he's just like, yeah, matter of fact, I am a fucking dick, and I know that. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. And it's just, I think that's so amazing. Like the high, low, and the instrumental parts, like match with his vocals, are fucking great. Just absolutely great. And I think that's all Kevin. I think that's, I don't know. It's weird to read
it's Kevin.
Who wrote what, when, but based off of like the report card after this, and based off of like how much shit Kevin has talked on Steven and say, I did that, I did this, I did that. I think everything musically we can kind of like assume that it's Kevin directing where this is going.
I agree with you on that. There's some really cool kind of wonky guitar playing, kind of unconventional stuff here that gives it this unique feel that you don't hear after the Kevin era. Never ever again. And that's not a knock on Steven, because Steven and they both, like we said earlier, they both are a vital part of this band, and Steven is there for the really great big melodies, everything like that. And just really Kevin is there to add the quirkiness, the weirdness, not weirdness, but just kind of this just the exciting part of it. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be a good mixture of both, and that's what this record is. And that's what the song is. The quiet and loud is very, very good in the song, like you said. And just a solid bass line from Aaron as well. That just drives the song really well. The really big kind of, the chorus hits, and there's this like also like this big airy feel to it, because the way that Brad Wilk is playing the drums, he's not playing like the hi-hats, the cymbals, like he's letting it breathe a lot more too. So it just has this big soaring feel to it. Fucking love this.
It's all build, dude. Like the first chorus, right? You only get half of it. You don't get the Burning Man in the first chorus. It's just that hold me down, that little swing.
Very kind of swingy lullaby thing.
And it goes back in the little riff. And then the second chorus is when we finally get like a Burning Man. And then like the outro, right? The chorus, the outro, the last part. Then it's like we get fully everybody. So you just add these little pieces, right? You add these little pieces of the puzzle, and finally you get that last chorus. And the last chorus is just fucking absolutely wild.
Yeah, it really is. And what I think is so cool about this record is all the different ways that Steven sings on this. He doesn't sing just one way. He does the falsetto stuff. He does the kind of rapping stuff. He does just...
He yells. He whispers.
He's all over the place.
Everything.
But in the best way. And the way he combines a lot of these different styles in one song is incredible, and just makes just a perfectly crafted song. I love it.
Just in that the opening lines, right? The rise and fall of my sloppy love, like the rise. He gets all high. He goes, they'll get you. Like just those, like those
as like the heavy distorted
lines.
Guitars come in too.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's so simple. It's so simple.
I've always loved the smatterings and splatterings, and until this week, I'd always assumed smatterings is not even a real word, but it is a real word. Like smattering is a real word, and I thought that was kind of cool. The rise and fall of my sloppy loves, the smatterings, the splatterings. That's like, I don't know. That's all just it's all gross. Like, ugh, you're gross, man. Ugh. You're a bad guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll get you.
It's great. It's a fantastic song. It really, really is.
Yeah, this thing was like barely a 2B. This is a 1B for a while.
Really?
Being true? I was being true to myself.
That's just silly.
Scout's honor. If I was being true to myself, then it could not edge out Semi-Charmed Life. It just couldn't.
Yeah, and that's silly. Semi-Charmed is easily the number one spot.
It's hard.
Everything else can be kind of rearranged depending on your mood.
Like Limp Bizkit. It's like if you took I feel like you took a bracket, right? Like, and then like the last is Semi-Charmed Life, and like who's gonna beat Semi-Charmed Life? That's what it came down to me. It was like Burning Man versus Semi-Charmed Life. Like I can make an argument all day for Burning Man, and I am, but it's not better than Semi-Charmed Life.
No.
It's not, unfortunately.
Not at all.
I guess fortunately, because I love this song so fucking much.
Yeah, but still, even 2 is pretty high. I don't even think, even like mood wise, I don't think I could ever put it up as high as a 2. Not even a 3.
Yeah. Okay. That's something.
I mean, it's still a 5. It's still a 5, but god damn, it's good. It's a damn good song.
I would say like song. So there's 14 tracks. So the first 7 versus the last 7.
First 7, I don't know. I don't want to say it's better. It's just different. Yeah, the second half of the record is certainly it's a lot quieter, more melancholy for sure. But I can't say that it, for the most part, I wouldn't say it's better. It's just fucking different.
Yeah.
But even though, but also the filler songs are on the latter half of the record. The two
that I don't have anything less than a 6. I have a 6B in the latter half of the record, but that's as high as it goes.
Yeah. And even when I say filler, they're not filler songs. They're filler just in the context of the record. They're still bangers. They're still bangers. But anyway. So what do you have lyrically on Burning Man?
Oh, hold on there, dude. It's about his wild life. His whole life is like a party, and he's reckless, and But again, like you got that from the opening lines, right? The rise and fall, my sloppy love, the smattering, whatever.
Yeah.
Like all those words, again, all those words strung together just sound so sloppy and reckless. Like he just sounds like a degenerate junkie.
Yeah, he sounds like
the
a shitty person.
And splatterings. You sound like you sound terrible.
And that goes into the relationships. I think he's just talking about how shitty of a person he is in any particular relationship, whether it's romantic or like as a friend. And I feel like that's just how he was at the time.
Just like the guy can just say words and they're fun. You know, like first we caffeinate, then incinerate. It's like those are fun. We'll get you. But like, dude, like, I don't know. Like you say these things and you sing along, and then you know we're gonna get to the "we'll get you" part. And so like first we caffeinate, then incinerate, and like those are fun to say on their own. They're great. It's a great string of words together, and they kind of rhyme. They make sense. But because you know that you're gonna get to the "we'll get you" part. Mm-hmm. It adds a little bit more oomph to the caffeinate and incinerate things. It adds a little more oomph to the before part of that little staccato thing that he's got going on. And then again, the lead up to like just like a burning man, like that part, the little like din, 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 din. It's not just a normal like din 1 2 3 4 burning man. Like everyone's more nuanced than that. Yeah. Kevin throws some like cool chords out, and man, Kevin's just like. The guy like was taught by Joe Satriani, right? And like you think like someone's taught by Joe Satriani, they're going to be like wanky and fucking annoying, which is crazy because also Kevin has some amazing guitar solos on this record. But what he specializes in is like shutting the fuck up, just letting chords ring out. Basic.
That's a good songwriter. That's a good songwriter.
That's crazy. Dude. That's crazy.
And what also I love about this record is that it doesn't sound cookie cutter. Like it doesn't sound like every transition in and out of the verses and choruses and bridges or whatever it may be, everything, it doesn't sound like it was just dropped into that spot. Like there's always really great transitions, and it's everything, like you said, everybody is very, very nuanced in what they're playing and what they're writing. And I think it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
That's something too, because like the fact that everything flows so seamlessly, because they cut this all to tape, and this is the 90s, and they hadn't discovered Pro Tools yet in Third Eye Blind, and their second record they will have done that. But this first record, they are splicing. They are splicing, and Stephen Jenkins has been producing since he was a teenager, supposedly, and he's hooking up with Eric Valentine, and like dude already knows how to produce records, and they're sitting there in the booth splicing shit together, cutting things together, discovering new sounds that they can do with various instruments. And Eric has already got a couple records under his belt, and so they show up, and he's like, "Hey, you should try this guitar or this fucking thing." And they're just like, "Oh, wow." Like it's like a kid in a candy shop, right? Like they've been struggling just to make this demo. And now they have a big time producer that knows what the fuck he's doing and is allowing them like pretty much like,
kind of like
creative control.
Even then he was still kind of unknown, and which we'll get into in a bit.
Yeah.
But real quick. All right. So are we all good with Burning Man? Good with this one?
We're good
with this one? All right. So my number 2 is Narcolepsy.
I can't feel this narcolepsy slide. Do no nightmare.
So good.
Yeah, it's my 3B.
3B. Okay, not bad. So Burning Man's pretty high. It's still pretty
good.
high.
I fucking love Burning Man, dude. I think it also stems too, like living at the. I think it stems from living at the condo too. Like we had Third Eye Blind playing a lot, and I remember like Kevin and I used to really enjoy the Burning Man stuff together. Like that was like a nostalgic thing between the two of us. So Burning Man, it hits a different chord, and it's good. It's a good song.
Okay, all right,
it's good.
Well, Narcolepsy, it's my 2B, your 3B. Just I love how the song starts out with that clean guitar line riff kind of thing, and then it builds, like everybody starts coming in, the bass, the drums, it builds and builds, but it's a very, very slight build, but then everything kind of stops with that last snare hit, and then it just drops into the full band distortion and everything like that. It speeds up. Oh, dude, it's so good. And then Steven starts doing that falsetto thing in the chorus. Like once everything just starts speeding up and then he throws the chorus in there, but he does it falsetto a little bit. It's fucking fantastic. I fucking love this song. It's a whole fucking, it's like a whole story that's being told. I fucking love it. Dogs are going crazy. Your dogs are going. I hear them screaming. Right now? I hear them screaming. They're so fucking loud.
That's 4 dogs, baby boy.
4 dogs. 3 of them
1,
are
2,
like
3, 4.
husky German Shepherd, either or. The other one is
equally annoying.
The other one's just a lady. She's just a lady.
But they're dogs.
They are
treat
dogs.
them like dogs. People forget that dogs are dogs.
I know,
dude.
I know. I treat my dog way too nice. But
I
whatever.
mean, it's not just you. Like people definitely treat their dogs like they're not fucking dogs. And I think it's hard. It's hard to not do that. It's easy to fall into that trap of
Yes.
making your dog a part of the family and treating them as a human, right? Because it makes you feel good because you think they're feeling good, and it's just like, I don't know. I've never had a dog till now, so I don't.
Yeah, I know.
Like if it's up to me, I would let my dogs like fucking chase like gophers and shit and eat that for dinner. But that's not gonna happen. So
Yes.
whatever. Narcolepsy, yeah.
Narcolepsy,
You're right.
yes.
That opening, just like the opening chord, that and that's just like, again, open chords, easy stuffs, right?
Mhm.
Perfect tone by Kevin. Just setting that stage ever so perfectly, ever so slightly, building that chord progression. Like you already feel like we're going to get someplace. I feel like even if you never heard this song before, when you hear him play that chord progression, you know, like, okay, at some point, I feel like we're going to get somewhere heavy, somewhere wild, somewhere squirrely.
Yeah.
And then that bass line that comes in, like, what the fuck is that? That's the most aggressive wild of that.
I know.
It was
There's a lot
like,
of cool
it wasn't
stuff.
even real.
There's a lot of cool stuff like that throughout the record.
What the hell was that? Like, what are you doing here? 2 tracks in, but whatever. And I love that we get like 2 completely different versions of the same song in the same song, right?
Yeah.
The first part of the song is one thing, and the second part of the song is also a different thing after the solo, but it's kind of like the same thing, just presented in 2 different ways. I think that's cool. Throughout the course of like 4 minutes, we get to hear 2 different songs, 2 different versions of the same song. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. And then not only that, but then at the last part, the outro, it goes back to like the slower pace at half times from everything that was going on. So it's just like this, it's a perfectly crafted song. Like we both said, it kind of tells the story musically. I fucking love it, man. I love that. And that guitar solo, that it's kind of, it's a little bit winky, but it's not Eddie Van Halen winky, you know what I mean? Or anything like that.
Yes.
It's the perfect amount of wink. I fucking love it. Fucking love it.
It's the type of guitar solo that you would hear and you would think like, what the fuck? Where did this guy? How the fuck is this band have a guy who can play the guitar like this? And then like you hear that solo and you realize, okay, I'm going to focus on the guitar now for the rest of the album. And you realize he's really goddamn good. And then you read that he was taught by Satriani. You're like, okay,
That's
I get
crazy.
it. The guy can shred. He just knows that he probably shouldn't in this band.
Yeah. He doesn't need to. You don't need to.
That's fucking cool.
That's where I love how the egos, they didn't clash in that way. Like Kevin could have just ripped it up the entire fucking record, and that could have been a huge contention between him and Steven, but they found this common ground of perfectly blending the melodies with technical ability. It's just a perfectly crafted album, perfectly crafted song. And this is a single too, and it makes sense. Like, actually it doesn't make sense that this was a single because it doesn't have that cookie cutter verse chorus. You know, it's all over the place. It doesn't make sense that some of these songs, and even like Rick Beato brought it up on the interview a couple months ago with Steven, like, what was it Jumper, I think it was.
Yeah.
There's the
last single.
The last single, but it's arguably one of their biggest songs. Outside of Semi-Charmed Life, I would say Jumper is the second biggest song.
Yeah, for sure second, maybe the first.
But and in that bridge in that song, which we'll get into later, but it doesn't belong in that song. It doesn't make any
Jumper
sense.
has no fucking business being on this album.
Well,
it really
too,
doesn't.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't fit the theme of this album. It just doesn't fit that.
No. Musically, maybe lyrically, but musically, no, it certainly doesn't. But anyway, Narcolepsy.
Yeah, but like my favorite part, one of my favorite parts of the album is on this bridge. Like how'd you like to be alone and drowning thing? Dude, that's
what I was gonna say next. Yes.
God damn. I love that. Just like
That's one of my favorite parts of the whole album.
like fuck, man, you throw out this like super just like obscure kind of like sad thing, and how'd you like to be alone and drowning?
How'd you
And you
like
put
to
this
be
catchy ass
alone
fucking
and
thing behind it,
drowning?
right?
Yeah.
This is a very Sam Our Charm Life kind of thing. Throw out something that's really fucking sad and depressive, but make it so catchy and so fun to sing along to that right when you realize that, like, damn, that's actually really sad, you get back into that drop, that everything pauses, and that you get that ultra mega okay drop. Boom! You fucking megaton blast there. It's amazing.
So
God, this song is good.
I've listened to this record several times. Like I said, like 4 or 5 times this week. But you know, when you wake up in the morning, for me, I always have some song stuck in my head. It could be the most random fucking song, but I always have a song stuck in my head, or like a hook stuck in my head. But this week, it's either been the "How's It Gonna Be" hook. It's either been that, or it's been how'd you like to be alone and drowning.
Yeah,
I'll wake up
same.
with that hook just stuck in my head for like
That's
a good
always
half
stuck
hour.
in my head.
Yeah, how'd you like to be alone and drowning? It's just that da na 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 na. It's just it's so fucking catchy. I love it.
What did we
love
do?
it so much.
What did we do last week? We did
Pusa,
Oh yeah,
President.
So like the lump thing, right? It's lump, she's lump. Like that, it's that
In my
repetition, and like
head.
that's the easiest thing to get into is you
Yeah.
throw out a good melody and just have a basic like lyric that people can latch onto. Like she's lump.
Yeah.
That's super easy. That's the same thing here. How'd you like to be
Mhm.
alone and drowning? This bridge is just that one line 4 fucking times. But because like we've just been like thrown through the ringer up and down this whole record, like when we finally get to the "How'd you like to be alone and drowning" thing, it's like a relief. It's like a time where we can calm down and kind of just breathe, let it all out. And then, "How'd you like to be alone and drowning?" Because it's very monotonous, it's very monotone, it's very middle ground. But that's
Mhm.
exactly what this song needs, right? The song structure, everything else that's going on. That's what you need at this point. And it's just, man, this is perfect songwriting. This is beyond banger songwriting right here.
I know. It really, really is.
Oof.
I fucking love it. And lyrically, you know, I feel like it's about his depression, anxiety, just like creeping in, and how he's just trying to keep it all at bay and whatever. I think most of this album is about depression, suicidal ideations, you know, bad relationships, whether he's the bad person in the relationship or she is. Very, very kind of typical, you know, singer-songwriter type lyrics. But
Yeah.
once again, I do like a lot of his wordplay. I think he's a good lyricist.
Yes.
Like I really do. But once
Yes.
again,
Yes.
the songwriting chops on this completely overshadow his lyrics.
Yes.
In almost every
think-
way.
I think we're given a glimpse into like all of their psyche, into all of their emotions, not through
Yeah.
lyrics, through music. And that's fun because you don't always get that. It's a very like, I am feeling this, therefore I'm going to say I'm feeling this, therefore you know I'm feeling this because I just told you so. Like, no, it's more like I'm going to say this, but where we really get the feeling is through their music, how they are writing compositions with each other, and that's where we're getting most of the feeling through this record. Not through the lyrics, through the through the music, the instrumentals,
Say through the meat.
through the meat.
Through the
The
meat.
meat shakes. The meat shakes. It was an Ugly Duckling record. That's all right though.
Okay. All right. So Narcolepsy, do we have anything else on this one?
No, that was it. That was that was my 3B.
Did you hear the dog like scratching and burrowing? Like you're all that
Burrowing?
Yeah, it sounded like he was like digging a hole. You didn't hear that?
Your dog? No.
Yeah,
Where's he
like a minute,
burrowing?
like a minute ago, like while you were talking
Uh-oh.
initially. Yeah, and I turned around and looked, but yeah, he's on my chair behind me. You can actually see him in the camera.
I see it. I
Yeah.
do see it now.
He was like digging, like he was making a nest. So
Dogs are idiots, dude.
yeah, dogs are idiots. Yeah,
Dogs
Love 'em.
are dumb.
love them, but they're idiots.
Dad, dogs are dumb.
Dogs are dumb. All right, so what do you got for your 3B was Narcolepsy. All right.
Correct.
So my 3B is Graduate.
Good night,
Graduate.
graduate.
Dude, fucking love this.
Oh, here we
Love
go
this
with this one. Okay, so like again, I had to like piece these together. I had to pit them against each other. I should say I had to pit them against each other.
Yeah, it's tough.
Graduate, it was tough. Graduate was like the last time where I had a really, really difficult time doing so. So Graduate, God, I keep wanting to say Graduate. It's like, and the Genius lyrics is just the verb, not the noun. And I was like, oh, that'd be funny if he's like, can I graduate? That's what I was just thinking the whole time too. But anyway, Graduate by 9B.
Wow, that is so
Yeah.
low.
Dude, I had to, and I don't. That's
Like,
what I did.
I really didn't want to put Graduate this high. And I would go back to this over and over again, thinking like, there's no way this is better than Thanks a Lot, or
How's it
Losing a
gonna
Whole
be?
Year. Yeah, but then I would listen to it and I would just think, it's not just because it's a heavy song, but it's the ba da down da da down. It's just that one hit, those three hits, I should say. Da da no, I guess it's four hit. Da 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 down 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 ba bow. Just, and it's not just how he sings that part, but the guitar part too. Just the way they all kind of mesh together, the riff and that vocal melody is just, it's just perfect. It's so exciting. It's so simple and catchy. I think this is just an absolutely incredible song. I don't think it's very nuanced. It's not nearly as nuanced as Semi Charmed or Narcolepsy or anything like that. But god damn, dude, the way the song drives along in its simplicity is just absolutely perfect. Like London kind of does it as well, but it doesn't quite hit as hard as Graduate does. It's very simple, but it doesn't have that you know what I'm trying, I can't even explain it. It's so hard to explain.
So like Stephen Jenkins loved Jane's Addiction. Like he was a big fan of Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
And he also Lou Reed too, we talked about, but like he loved Jane's Addiction, how Jane's Addiction can go from like the stop and go thing, right? And like go, and Graduate like always reminded me of like go, right? Can I graduate? Like go, and then everything kind of like unleashes.
What's that Jane song? What song is that? I know what song you're talking about, but I can't think of the name of it.
Is it Stop? I think it's Stop. I don't know if that's the actual name of the song, but I think it's called Stop. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like so here I think there are some crazy parts that are often like overlooked. So like the second verse, it's echo fading, we can let go.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking weird, dude. Like the way his vocal gait is weird, and it doesn't match the instrumentals like at all. Like everyone's just doing whatever the fuck they want at this part. It's just like, hey, everybody, like self solo, and everyone just does whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
But then
it never matches up.
It doesn't. But as long as you come together at the "Can I graduate?" then it's
"Can
okay.
I graduate?" And then that's
everybody's on their own. Otherwise,
with a song long after we do "Can I grad?" Then it's like, okay, let's jump back into it, and that's fucking wild, dude. That's crazy to think. And like a top 40s hit band here is just doing this self solo thing where everyone's just doing whatever the fuck they want. It makes no sense, but they come together and just make something bigger than its parts, and it's unreal. Dude, and this solo is fucking amazing. I love Kevin's solo on this one. Like I think it's absolutely amazing. It's so wanky in the most basic of terms.
I know. That's yes, wanky in the most basic of terms. That's how all of his leads and solos are on this. But that's like the biggest compliment you could possibly give to it. Like it's not a knock whatsoever to his playing, to his abilities. God damn it, I knew how to play to a song. He knows how to play to a song. And also, like, got to give a ton of credit to Brad Hargreaves on this one. Like when I want to graduate, or just the snare, just how what he plays during that part when they all come together. It's so simple. It's so basic. The snare to crash hits. It's just perfect. Everything is just, God, when it all meets together again during that part is just so perfect. Fucking love it.
These guys, like, they tried really, really hard. And you can tell in a song like this, you can tell they tried really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it was like, like this is a song that doesn't really have like a lot of really interesting Aaron parts. And it's because, like, fuck it. He knows. Like, this is not, I'll hold back on this one. I'll lend support. I'll lend support when needed, and I'll come through when I fucking feel like it. And
but Aaron comes through with some good like fuzz bass during fuzzed out bass during the bridge and everything, but certainly he is subdued.
Even like the way he recorded some of his bass parts was just fucking wild, and took so much time to really get in there and like multi-track his bass parts to find the perfect sound, even though it's just one little part, one verse of one song or one record. And it's just like everybody really tried their best at this record.
Yeah, they really did. They really, really did. Man, I love it. Love this album.
Sounds a banger.
Love the song. Banger. So what do you have lyrically on this one? This one is very
Graduate. Can I
specific.
graduate? It's about moving up, baby. Moving up in
Yeah.
the world. How you even can move up, huh? But moving up in the world. That's it.
Yeah, and
That's it.
according to the Rick Beato interview, Steven said that the song was inspired because when they were looking for a record label, they were playing in front of a bunch of record executives and this and that, and they were just the way that the band was being treated by these executives was very condescending, and he was like, fuck you, like he pretty much like kind of told him like kind of like fuck off, like stop being an asshole, like are you gonna sign us or not? Like I don't like let's cut out all the fat. Let's get down to business. Like, are you going to sign us or not? Because if not, we're just going to leave. It's just like he was just tired of the whole. This is him just pretty much saying, I'm tired of the whole process of having to be like courted by these record labels and being talked down to and this shit. And like he just wants to move on, graduate. He wants to move on up, and that's what the song is. Supposedly, that's what the song is inspired by, according to Mr. Jenkins himself.
Mr. Jenkins, Steven with an A and a PH.
Leroy Jenkins. Yes. So yeah, let's get into your 4B. What do you got there?
How's it gonna be? How's it gonna be? What you don't know me?
This is another one where this is one of those songs where it should be way higher on my ratings, but it's my number 10.
Tough.
It's
10.
10.
I don't.
10.
I mean, 10's a little aggressive.
I know, but
I don't blame you.
This is one of those things too where I would go back and listen to it. And I'm like, and then I would listen to other songs and think this is a better song, and this is a mood based thing.
4 songs that are worse than this one. Okay,
no, 5 songs.
To that one.
5 songs for me that
10,
are worse
11,
than
12, 13, 14. Only 14 songs.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Counting's hard. Counting, yeah, whatever.
People that are not watching can't see me sarcastically show Tyler that he can't count with my fingers.
Anyway. It's my 10B. How's it going to be?
It's still a fucking banger. I think my last 2 or 3 Bs, they're good because I've heard them so many times, and I like where they're placed, and I think they serve a purpose. But outside of that, I don't think that they're anything exceptional. If you lost them on the record, I wouldn't be upset. But my 11 Bs, I would be upset. But my last 3 Bs, if you took them out, I don't know if I'd be upset.
I get what you're saying, and I would tend to agree with you on that. Yeah. I would agree.
But yeah, how's it going to be? I mean, transition song, dude. This is a transition. Wow, transition
That's hard,
song.
Dude.
Because you almost want to say song, transition song, like your
transition song. Yes,
the transition song. This is a transition song to the max. It's a perfect ballad transition. That's what this is. It's a fucking ballad transition song, right? Going from graduate. And then thanks a lot.
That one too.
Well, because ever since I read like the verb, not the noun, I was like, I want to say, can I graduate? And it just changes the whole meaning entirely.
Yeah.
It sounds so stupid. I hate it, but it's funny. So I did sing it like that this week. But yeah, dude, the bass comes in so heavy in this one. And this is a great song to introduce us to like a little bit more nuance in what they will be doing later on. Right. And again, I think that's like 80% Kevin and then 20% Steven. I think the band just does whatever the fuck they want them to do. But I think adding nuance, adding layers, texture, I think that's Kevin, because the guitar here is almost like always in the background. It just builds. It builds and builds, like be it tension, texture, adding relief. And then like when the song finally releases with Steven yelling, that's when it's so good. And it's just, I don't know. It's so good at letting us feel like this kind of like lullaby-esque vocal delivery thing that is smooth and calming, and then hitting us with that perfect wail. Oof.
Also, the interplay between the I don't even want to call it an interplay, but I guess the lead guitar line over the acoustic strumming that Kevin's playing over it is so perfect. It's just the amount of not even wankiness of just it's a perfect accompaniment to the strumming acoustic guitar. It's just it's a perfect ballad. It is and I'm not a big ballad guy. We're neither of us
like our ballads.
Neither of us are big ballady guys.
Alkaline Trio made you a ballad.
Damn. No, that's wrong, dude. Well, that's wrong, dude. But no, this is just a perfect ballad through and through. Perfectly placed, in the record too, because at this point you're getting more into for the most part, you're getting more into like a quieter, melancholy record. Obviously, London and Burning Man don't really fit that, but overall, the second half of the record is more melancholy, sad, and this is a perfect transition into it. A perfectly placed song. God,
Yeah.
it's so good.
And then
It's so
dude,
good.
it's that bridge when he's like, the house again, when you don't know me, and then you want to get myself back in again. Like, why
It's
are
really
you
good.
yelling?
Heavier
Where do you-
distorted guitars too.
Where does it come from? It comes from nowhere. He just starts fucking yelling and wailing. And again, it's all
fucking
about
great.
that build, dude. Like they can build songs and it's
Mhm.
nice. Damn, this is a banger.
I know.
Absolute banger.
Absolute fucking banger.
Through and through. So yeah.
All right.
Moving
How's it
on.
gonna be? How's it gonna be? So good. All right. So what do we have next?
We're at 4. You're 4B, 5Bs, or we can just run through them. Or we
No.
what do we
I
do?
dude, I want to talk about 4 more songs, 5 more songs. I'm down to talk about.
Perfect, baby. girl.
So
Let's do it.
my 4B is I Want You. I Want You is my 4B. I know it's high, right?
Wow. I mean, that's my 7B, but like that's high. Honestly, that's high for what I thought you would place the latter songs on the album,
I know, but this one, it's
especially this one. This is like this is their clap back to Oasis. Like, hey,
it really
how
is.
can we
but
do a
it's-
better Oasis song? That's
and
what this is.
they absolutely annihilated Oasis. With this song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
This sounds like fucking Oasis, but like
but
Oasis
way
is
fucking
good.
better. Way fuck. I mean, it's the everything about the chorus makes this song and puts this one so high. It's the do you it's the
Yeah.
do you thing, and then not just that, but the way that Kevin complements Steven's melody with his guitar parts, his guitar leads. There's just this slight bit of distortion on it, and it just follows and it intertwines with his melody, plays with it so fucking well. It's remarkable. It's absolutely fucking remarkable. And then he does like this rapping thing, kind of like rapping thing too, on this song. Like it's absolutely a perfect song. But it makes it just this is the biggest song on the record that made me want to go back and listen to over and over again just to make sure I wanted to rank it as high as I did. Because it
I can
it
see
doesn't
that.
make sense. It doesn't make sense that it should be so high. But when you listen to it and you hit that chorus, you realize this is just a beyond fucking banger, and it deserves to be way higher on the rankings list on this record than everything else. It's remarkable.
Making me want you. I like how he says that too.
Ah, it's so
Making
fucking
me
good.
Want you.
Yes, and but it starts off so simple too with the shaker. You know, the shaker. It's just so
the production, right?
so
Like that's
basic,
That's what's
bitch.
very Oasis for me. Is like it's all everything's so drippy and verby, and like
Yeah.
that shaker, like that. Dude, that's just so fucking gross Oasis-y, and like
So
that's why I
basic.
think that. But it's dude, it's a fucking fantastic song.
Yeah. Dude, I always forget about it too. Like whenever I throw it throw the vinyl on, like at night, and it's just like I'm winding. Like after London, you're kind of exhausted, and you're kind of winding down. You're like, God, I feel good, and then you hear that chorus come in, and just blown away. I can't get over the chorus. The chorus is so good.
Ding you, ding you, ding you, ding you,
Ah.
ding you, ding you, do.
Just and Kevin's accompaniment to it. It's perfect. It's just so perfect. Love it. Love this
Good.
song.
No, this is my 7B, and I love these latter half nuanced record or tracks on the record, and
Mhm.
I think it's amazing. Kevin guitar tone, dude, it's fucking perfect. It's all
Yeah.
farty and delicious, right?
I know.
I think it's just like I don't know. It's his basic stuff, but like that's what he does best is just being basic and playing to the song and letting everyone else have their time, or even just letting the song have its time and just enjoy it, enjoy the
Yeah.
ride.
That's exactly what the song is. And the song is just about him kind of like just kind of loving a girl, like falling in love with her. It's a very kind of simple thing.
Man, dude, even just that like like that
I
fucking
know.
line. Oh my god,
I know.
that's
It's
like
so
one of the
basic.
best riffs on the record too. Like that,
Yes.
it's so good. Sing along to that shit.
It really, really is.
Mm.
Fantastic.
So fucking lazy and shoegazy. You know, that's like
Yes.
Kevin too. He's very shoegazy and kind of like how he approaches playing guitar. Just very lackadaisical, very, very marshy playground. Oh, mate.
But
It's
way
very
better,
pavement
dude.
there, ain't it? Very pavement there, ain't it? Calm down.
Man, Skip was so mad at you. Friend of the pod, Skip was so mad at Jeff.
Because he missed the whole fucking point. It wasn't like just the shoegaze. It was also like the folk element and the storytelling. And yes, Pavement did like the slacker thing is, but they weren't like folk. They weren't storytelling the way like Bob Dylan was, right? The way like Marcy Playground tried to be like a shoegazy slacker Bob Dylan. Like that was the whole thing there. But that's all right. We'll move on. I digress. Innit. I like saying innit a lot.
Innit?
Like INNIT. Innit.
Yeah. Innit?
I don't know what that
Hello,
means.
bruv.
I just
Innit, bruv?
I only say Brev because I watched like the Football Factory or something, or like Green Street Hooligans, and they call each other Brev. Oh, that's funny.
You say brev or bruv with a U?
I think it's Brev.
I think it's both. It's both.
It's
both.
I think I say Brev, but it might be Brev.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what it means. I think it means like dude, right?
Like, yeah, like dude. Like,
we're talking about Brev.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
Talking about Willis? Yeah. Same thing. So I want you. We got on this one. I mean, lyrically, yeah, we talked about. We got anything else on this one?
Dude, that fucking riff is so good. One of the best riffs on the record for sure.
Oh, I love it.
Go to sleep on that.
It's almost like there's like a little bit of a wah,
Oh
on
yeah,
that guitar
he
line
definitely
too.
uses wah. Like that's.
But it's so subtle. It's not over the top.
I mean, like he
Not like
loved
Kirk
Hendrix.
Hammett.
Like,
It's not like Kirk Hammett, Jimi Hendrix. Wah.
another Satriani
Exactly.
person.
Yes. God damn.
That's crazy,
dude.
dude. Like Satriani has taught some amazing guitar. Like Steve Vai, right? He's probably the biggest person that Satriani has taught. But like Kirk Hammett, really? Like that's.
I like how Kirk Hammett never. Kirk Hammett's guitar playing like never took. It doesn't seem like he took anything from Joe Satriani. It's just like
no personality to it.
Yeah, I love Kirk Hammett though. I really do love Kirk Hammett.
He's great as the backup guitarist in Metallica for sure. Like
the
he's
backup
amazing.
guitarist. Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
Some incredible some incredible solo. Like
yeah, you think one of the solos in fucking was it Black Album or
I mean, okay,
is it one?
No,
is it one?
Well,
you think?
No, okay. So Enter Sandman, the song itself, I think it's so overplayed and it's very very cheesy. But I think arguably as a guitar solo for that song, that's one of the greatest guitar solos ever written.
That's what it is. That's
I really
dumb thing you said.
I don't even think it's that great of a song. I really, really don't. But the solo for that song, I still think is one of the greatest solos ever written.
So now I have to go open our fucking Google Doc and I have to go into our dumb shit Tyler says and I have to find all the list of dumbass things you said and then add that to it to saying that.
But also, okay, the Master of Puppets solo is amazing. The solo in Shortest Straw, fucking amazing solo.
But you think his best solo is from Enter Sandman?
I think objectively, I think from a songwriting perspective, I think his two best solos are Enter Sandman and Master Puppets, hands down. I think some of his most unique ones are Shortest Straw one, absolutely.
But like as a one liner, Kirk's solo in Sandman is one of the goats.
I think his good. Yes,
that's what you're saying.
Yes, it's perfect for that song, absolutely.
Well,
perfect for that song.
Are you saying it's perfect for that song, or are you saying it's one of the
that's
greatest guitar solos of all time?
No. I said for that song, it's perfect.
Okay, I think that's not what you said earlier.
I think it's his best solo because it's the best for that song.
That's not what you said earlier. Earlier you said it's one of the greatest solos of all time, but that's okay.
I meant for him. I didn't mean in general. I meant for him.
Okay, so I'm going to delete that because
yeah, of course not of all time.
If you think it's one of the greatest solos of all time, that's stupid.
No.
Okay, all right. I deleted that from the dumb shit.
That's just silly.
Well, of course you said it, but that's all right.
Well, that's not what
we've been. But you should
have picked up on it. Clearly, you don't listen. That's fine.
I think you said this before too.
Oh, never did. But anyway, back to I Want You. I'm good with this one. What's your 5B?
Opener, baby. Losing a whole year.
Losing a whole year. We both did a really good job singing that. So that's my 9B.
That's my 14B.
Well, that's wrong, dude. 9B. So what do we got on this one?
See, like now we're getting into the like for me, I think like 5 to 10 is where things like it was hard. It was fucking hard.
Yeah.
They are super interchangeable. My 5 could have been my 10 and my 10 could have been my 5. Like there's really no structure here. I should have just said a B instead of my 5B. My 11, I think.
But it's fun. It's fun to kind of argue and discuss it anyway.
My 11 deservedly needs to be there. And then 12, 13, 14, those can be interchangeable too. But I think those are the ones that if they were not there, I'd be okay with, but I like them anyway. But 5 to 10 interchangeable, don't care. So Losing a Whole Year, first of all, the swell into this is fucking fantastic. Yeah. Kevin's little hammers on that like intro riffage, it builds such a nice like dainty kind of calm, safe riff, right? And then we're like, okay, cool. Like I see what this album is maybe going to be. It's going to be just like a adult contemporary soft rock record. And then like Stevens just starts yelling, like, "What? Dude, why?"
Starting with the chorus, and that's the chorus.
Are you yelling? Yeah, open up with the chorus. Why are you yelling?
Why?
It's fucking amazing, and this is really nice. Like Nirvana did like the quiet to loud thing really well, right? And that's kind of what. And like these guys aren't shy of taking stuff from what they like, and they took from James, they took from Nirvana, they took a lot of things from other artists that they like to do, and made a very. It made a very vanilla record, but like, fuck, man, opening up with the most vanilla of songs, but like maxing out to as much as you possibly could. That's what this record is. And that's what this song is. And that's why it's so perfect as an opener.
I agree. And he does kind of the rapping thing too in the verses. So I don't even want to call it rapping, but that's like kind of the best way to describe it. And especially knowing that prior to Third Eye Blind, he was like in a rap group. Like it was him and I didn't even try. I didn't even look up to see if I could find the songs or song. But yeah, apparently he was in like some like hip rap group or whatever where I don't know the true extent of it, but
he was just bored. He was poor and he just wanted to play music. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. And you know what I didn't know until this week was that he was originally a drummer. Like he started out playing the drums in high school and then playing in bands as the drummer. But it wasn't until they didn't have a singer and he just kind of started singing and he moved to being like the front man. And honestly, I've never heard his drumming, but I mean, I like how much in the interviews that I've seen, he speaks very highly of Brad and saying like this, like, especially Semi Charmed. He, like in the Rick Beato interview, he said Semi Charmed would not have been what it was had it not been Brad's drumming. Like his bounciness and how excited he was on the recording of that, it wouldn't have been anything without his drumming. And I like how how much emphasis he puts on the drums, which is great.
It's tough. It's tough because in that interview, how little he mentioned Kevin. who basically is like 50% Third Eye Blind.
Yes.
And then how he didn't mention like Aaron at all. And when he started talking about Brad's drumming, I was like, maybe like there is something more. So then like today, when I listened to it again, I was like, like he's a good drummer. He's not a great drummer, but he's a good drummer. And like, it's hard to find a good drummer who can just like, dude, chill the fuck out. Let me like, I'm going to hire you to play drums to me essentially. Yeah. And so then I thought like maybe Steven isn't like praising Brad, but it's just because Brad's still in the fucking band.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to talk about Kevin and Aaron. So therefore I have to talk about something. And instead of saying, oh yeah, Semi Charmed Life, the reason why that song was so great is because of Kevin and Aaron. Like, well, no, like you can't do that. And you can't just like jerk yourself off the entire time either. You got to talk about somebody else. So I think that's why he may have talked about Brad.
Could have been. It could have been.
But like Brad's a good drummer. And again, like I think it's hard to find a good drummer. It's almost impossible to find a great drummer, but it's hard to find a good drummer.
Consistently good drummer, yeah.
Inevitably, like drummers, they're like Animal from the Muppets, right? Like that's what drummers are. Like inevitably, they're going to want to go crazy and do what they want to fucking do. That's just the stereotype drummers. That's what they fucking do. Yeah. It's hard to get a drummer that's like, dude, reel it in, bro, reel it in.
But not only that, but a drummer that can play well, not only live but also in the studio. I mean, we've seen it time and time again over the decades, where a band will have a drummer, but the drummer can't cut it in the studio because they can't play to a click. They can't keep in time. So they bring in somebody like Josh Freese. We talk about Josh Freese all the time, and how he's been brought into sessions many, many times where the drummer of said band doesn't even know that his drums are being retracked by Josh because he just can't cut it in the studio. So we see it time and time again.
Yeah.
But we have somebody like Brad Hargreaves, solid drummer, great parts, plays on every one of the records, has played on every record from the first one up until the new one. The only other consistent member outside of Steven. So that really is, it's telling that the guy can consistently play in the studio.
Maybe there's like 4 tiers of drummers, right? There's like your God tiers, right? You're like your Keith Moons and your Bonhams and your Pearts,
Ginger Bakers, yeah.
And then like there's a next tier right below that where it's like guys that are really, really good, maybe not like reinventing the wheel, but like your Josh Freeses, the dudes that can just play anything and play it fucking well, and like they're musicians. And there's the one below that where it's kind of like this dude, right?
You're
Brad,
Tommy, yeah,
who's good. Like he's good. He's a fucking good drummer. And then there's everybody below that who is just like, dude, you're just like when you play live, the band is just trying to like go around your timing.
yes.
Like that's about it. You know what I mean? And then everything else below that is just elementary.
I would
it's
agree
so
with you.
hard to break through that up into like that Josh Freese. And like you're right, like Josh Freese, like there's a reason you call Josh Freese. You don't just call Josh Freese because he's cheap. Like, dude ain't cheap. He's fucking busy and he's doing other shit. So you call Josh Freese because like you know he can get the job done. He's like the cleaner. He's a cleaner.
Exactly, yeah.
You don't call Bonham to come over and track drums. Like, no, that's just too wild. He's too out there. You call
too
Josh
much
Freese.
of his own style, even though Josh Freese has his own style.
Right.
But I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, you can't throw in like a John Bonham or a Stuart Copeland or Neil Peart into a studio session. You just can't do it. It's just
even
not
like Jay Lane. I would put like Jay Lane in that Josh Freese tier right there. Like, dude's great. He can do anything. You call him and he can track whatever the fuck you want him to.
Yeah.
He has his own style,
but
he's not like reinventing anything.
I mean, it's kind of a wild example, but like Terry Bozzio with Frank Zappa, known for his enormous, like one of the biggest hits in, rock music, prog music. But then he joined Korn in 2007 and he played on the Korn record, played like 4 songs on it. And you listen to those 4 songs compared to the songs that Brooks Wackerman did and the ones that Jonathan Davis played drums on. And it's night and day. It's like, yeah, Terry Bozzio is this amazing, phenomenal drummer, but you throw him into like a rock band, like a normal rock band, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things.
I can tell. I can tell when the gap is, right. Like if you can listen to a record and there's different drummers, and you can like, oh yeah, that's weird because that guy's way too good for this. Yeah. That's a Travis Barker of Enema, right? That type of thing.
Yeah, like exactly. Exactly. Fucking crazy.
So Brad definitely falls into that category of like, dude's is just a good fucking drummer.
Excellent drummer. I just bit my tongue.
But he's not A tier, he's not S tier. But he's good.
I bit my tongue.
Don't do that. Isn't that crazy? Really, like you can still bite your tongue after fucking almost 40 years of
37 years
chewing.
Old. Oh my God.
Like,
and it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad too when you do it.
And like you want to be mad at somebody, right? Like you want to throw punches. You're like, motherfucker. Like you want someone to walk in the door just so you can use them as your punching bag, but you just it's all you do. Like you did it.
But you can't even be mad at yourself because it's not like it's so annoying. Biting your tongue is so annoying.
And it goes away fairly quickly too. It's just like maybe like 30 seconds of just intense pain. Then it tapers off dramatically from there. But it's just
so bad.
Yeah, no, it's.
You know what's worse than biting your tongue is the hiccups. The hiccups is one of the worst things ever.
Because it's like your body is like making fun of itself and like you're being disrespectful to yourself. And like, again, you'll try anything.
Even Tammy will say, like, I've never seen you so mad as when you have the hiccups. Like, she gets scared when I get the hiccups because I get so mad. I punch things. I get so fucking mad when I get the hiccups. I yell.
Do you have things you try?
Yes. Like,
to get rid of them? What do you do?
I try to burp as much as I can. That helps a lot. I try to drink water upside down. Everybody makes fun of me about this, but there's a certain way of doing it, and it actually, for me, it helps. It's probably all psychological, but I don't care. It helps me. But those are the two things. I try to burp a lot, and I drink water upside down.
I do one thing. Try this next time you do it. Okay, you ready for this?
What?
I do one thing. When you have the hiccups, like as you're hiccuping that last time, you can kind of feel it like slowly creep up.
Yeah.
As it's going on, start to hyperventilate, and let everything out, including that hiccup, and then breathe in deep. And then just slowly chug like as much water as you possibly can. That way it just forces everything. Like you stay closed.
Okay.
And then after you're done with that, hold your breath for as long as you possibly can. And when I was like diving with Mark and we're free diving and stuff, he had showed me that like you can hold your breath a lot longer than you think you can. Like you're not going to die because you'll pass out or whatever and you'll start breathing. He said, but to a certain point, you'll start to like the blackness, right, will start to go like this as if like things are caving in and you're going to pass out. And like at some point too, you kind of like convulse, like your body's like, I gotta breathe, bro. I gotta breathe. Mm-hmm. Like hold your breath for as long as you possibly fucking can. Like at least a minute. Like if you're not going a minute, dude, you need to work on your breathing skills. Like you should be going at least a minute.
Yeah.
Gone every fucking time. I've been doing this since I ran into Mark and he's the one that told me to do this. And that was what, 15 years ago,
Probably
I guess at this point.
Ago, yeah.
every single fucking time.
That's a good one.
Every single
That's a good
time.
one. Oh, dude, hiccups are the
Telling
worst.
you. Hiccups are it's because
Oh,
it's your
dude,
body
it's the
being
worst.
disrespectful to itself.
It
Like, bro,
is.
why you gotta make me look stupid like that?
And then
You know
and
what I
then
mean?
and then what makes me even more mad is when I'm trying to stop it and then I hiccup when I'm like actively trying to stop hiccuping.
or if
makes
you're
me-
being mad and you talk and
Yes.
you hiccup and you lose all
Oh
credibility.
my god. I fucking lose. Nothing makes me angrier. Seriously, nothing makes me angrier than me hiccuping.
Or you
I-
go like
I-
this because you're so mad. You go, "Urgh," but then when I just
Yes.
you go, "Urgh."
Oh, dude. Yes, I know exactly. Yes. Oh, it's making me mad just thinking about it. Oh, I get. I gotta hit. I always gotta hit something. I get so mad. I'm not even physical or violent at all, but I get so.
You never
fucking
get mad. You're just again, dude. The fucking fence, man.
Yeah,
so
dude,
the
I
thing
love
that
riding
like
the
puts you
fence.
over the fence, man. Wow,
Is hiccuping.
hiccups.
Is hiccups.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
I'd lose my fucking mind.
I hope next time you come out here, you get hiccups at some point. If there was like a pill you could
But-
drop in
but
someone's drink
normally-
to get you hiccups, I would do it.
But I've gotten to the point where I could stop it. I could stop it really fast. I could stop it very, very fast if I try. But that like minute, 2 minutes of me hiccuping, I lose my fucking mind. Anyway, this is such a stupid tangent.
Tangent.
All right, so do we have anything else on losing a whole year?
Nope. That's it.
No, nothing. Okay, so what was that? Your 6B or 5B? I don't know.
That
I
was
only
my
have a few
5B.
songs left. All right. So what's your 6?
Oh, well, I got to highlight in red.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh, blah, dude.
6B. We're gonna scroll down. What, do you crack a curse?
Cracked Cures, baby.
Well, CAC cracked a curse. CAC CAC.
A little cat.
See, you're so fucking immature. You are immature that you laughed at that. That makes you immature.
What a cack.
So my 6B is motorcycle drive-by.
Motorcycle. That's my 8B. Let's get into this one.
Okay, good.
This one jumped up quite a bit for me because of the Rick Beato interview. So
because of how we talked about it, or because when he played it, you're like,
When
oh
he-
wow, that's pretty fucking cool, actually.
when he played it, the fact that he got up and like totally unexpectedly he just grabbed one of the guitars behind him, and then Rick's like, wait, if you're gonna play it, let's mic it up real quick. And then
Well,
it cut, and then he mic'd it up and played it, and it's just like, fuck, so sick.
So it's
What?
wild because, for one, I like Rick Beato. I do. I like his interviews.
I do
I
too.
like what he does. It's just, who the fuck is Rick Beato? It's cool that he's doing this. It's just how he got there is whatever. Fuck it. Don't care. But what was cool is when Stephen Jenkins like grabbed the guitar, Rick was like, "Whoa, bro, if you're gonna play, I'm gonna fucking mic up your vocals and the guitar."
Yeah.
And then Steven like played along. He's okay, and Mike, and like the cut, like smash cut right to like everything was mic'd up. I
Yeah.
was like, that's cool, man. That's cool that like Rick is it. You don't let it slide. Like nothing slides by Rick. Like Rick is there because he is a music lover first, but he's
Yeah.
also like a musician and he knows a lot about music. But he's a music lover first, and he's fucking stoked to hear this guy play this song that he probably loves. And Motorcycle Drive-By has always been like a fan favorite. Like
Mhm.
people love this song, and I've always liked this song. It's not a top 5 song for me. It never has been, never will be. But
Mhm.
it's a solid 6. And I think like it should always be a 6. It's not going to break the top 5, but man, this is a fucking amazing song. Just like the bell curve on this song, right? From
Mhm.
low, high, low of this song. Nowhere on this album that you get that extreme. And I think that's amazing. It's good.
Yeah, I just wish on the record that the song was just all Steven. Like it was just him and the acoustic guitar. Because after watching it on within that Rick interview, it's so much better. Just having him play along and singing, dude. And also, Steven's voice has not changed at all. He sounds exactly like how he did in 1997. His
Yeah.
voice is just immaculate. It's
Which
I
is-
mean,
It's crazy.
it's fucking nuts.
because he's
All the-
ugly as fuck, and the way he talks
But
sounds
see-
nothing like the way he talked then when he sings.
Exactly.
Identical.
Wait, when I heard him talking in that interview, I'm like, I thought
I never. I didn't know he talked like
I
that.
I didn't think so either, and I was very
Not to like make fun of the way he talks, but he has a kind of like
No.
a lisp, and he just
He-
like
he has
I
the
just
li-
didn't think he talked
yeah.
like that.
He has a very specific accent. and I didn't expect it at all. And but then also, and even like earlier interviews like that I watched back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, he didn't speak that way either. Like he speaks very differently. And back in the 90s, he was a very good looking guy.
He was like the Chris Carrabba of the 90s.
He really was. He's not bad looking, but I mean, he's certainly aged.
Now he's ugly. Yeah. He's ugly ass guy. He's ugly.
Whatever. Either way, his voice is perfect. He still has all the little nuance in his voice and the way he sings. Like he just sounds fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic.
He sounds fucking identical, dude.
It's fucking wild.
And he talks all stupid, and like the way he talks and the things he says. Like, dude, you're annoying. And then he starts singing this. It's like, oh,
I know.
Oh,
just picks it up like nothing. Like, I mean, he has played the song probably 1,000 times, so it's like it's nothing for him. But watching him play it was so.
That was cool too, because like again, like you said, he's a drummer, right? Like he started off as a drummer, and he didn't want to sing, and he was kind of like thrown into the singing aspect, and it's crazy to think that like. Because like nobody really wants to sing. When you start a band, like nobody wants to sing because everyone realizes like, dude, I suck at singing. I'm not going to be the singer. So why the fuck do I want to sing right now? So I get it. But like to think that a guy like this almost was a drummer for his career, like that's just blasphemy. Whatever. So then he picks up the guitar and he's like, dude, I don't know how to play the fucking guitar. And he starts picking and you realize like, dude, there's no like structure to that picking. And he's doing the same picking he does on the album because he's done it so many times. But like he goes like, I don't know why the fuck I did this picking style. Like, I don't know where I was going with this. I was just picking this that way I can hit like good. The accent notes on the words that I wanted them to be hit on. So, okay, cool. That's someone that like doesn't know how to play the guitar, but will pick it up and play to the best of their own abilities. And it's just, that's cool, man. There's something innocent about that. There's something, like DIY about that kind of approach.
Yeah. He's not stuck in a structure of like the technical part of musical theory or anything like that. And I fucking love that. It goes back to like a lot of bands' first records where they don't know what they're doing. So they just kind of throw everything at the wall and just, it turns out to be something like very unique to that particular band. Like a band like Thrice, like you hear that first Thrice record and you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, is this thrash? Record. Yeah, it is their best record because it was so all over the place. It was very honest. They had no real direction, and it was exciting. It was very, very exciting. And you hear that on so many bands' first records, like it or not, it's just, that's what it is. And that's how I feel his whole approach to songwriting was back in the early and mid 90s. It was very much that. He didn't really know what he was doing exactly, but what he was doing just sounded fucking fantastic.
There was something else he got into after that too that I was like, oh yeah, that's fucking cool, and I want to talk about it. I literally just forgot about it as you were talking.
That's good.
Useless.
All right. So Motorcycle Drive-By, yeah. What else do you have on this?
Man, it's just right. It's fucking right there. I don't
know also there was a documentary that came out in 2022 with it was called Motorcycle Drive-By, 25-minute documentary. Didn't watch it because it used to be able to watch it for free on YouTube, but now you got to like rent it for $5 or some shit like that. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to spend $5 to watch a documentary on this. It's just not worth it. So anybody listening, any big 3EB fans, sorry, whatever. Didn't watch it.
I remember what I was going to say. It has to do with Lyric driving the song, but then I also want to talk about the documentary real quick. I don't watch it either because I agree. Like I'm just not going to spend $5 to watch a documentary about a band where there's so much written about it. And I pretty much I know what the documentary has in there.
And honestly, it's probably going to avoid Kevin at all costs.
Yeah. And that's stupid and fucking dumb. And I don't like that. The other thing was when Steven had said that the lyrics, the vocal melody drives these songs. If they have to go a couple extra bars, and they go a couple extra bars just to get out that last melody. And I thought like that was the shit. That's why we see the choruses early on in the record, right? We don't get like that full chorus, like Burning Man. We don't get the full Burning Man chorus the first time around because he's saving it for later on. And I like that. We don't need to follow these structures. We don't always have to be like the same time signature and the same key and 4 measures, and just like things can be a little bit different. And that was kind of like the driving force behind Motorcycle Drive-By too. But damn, dude, this is probably the last Let me see. 6 verse 7. This is probably the last Beyond banger for me.
Okay. Beyond. Let me see. This is. I'd say my last Beyond banger.
7, yeah.
I have 11 Beyond bangers. The last 3, they're great songs, but they're not. Yeah, they're certainly not Beyond bangers. But we'll get into that when we wrap up.
I have 14 bangers.
Yeah, same here. I have 14 bangers.
But like this, I only have 6 Beyond bangers. Like Motorcycle Drive-By is my last song that I think is a Beyond banger.
Oh, that's
after this, everything's just a banger.
Oh, okay, that's wrong. But
you think Jumper's a Beyond banger?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
God, dude.
It is a Beyond banger, but it's the last Beyond banger for me. Okay. But anyway, Motorcycle Drive-By. I mean, we're on that one. Do we have anything else on it? Or what?
No, that's it.
Okay.
It's his fucking bitter pill song. It's sad boy breakup shit.
It is, yeah. Just so in love with the girl, and she doesn't feel the same. Yeah.
Never been so alone. Oh, that's the wrong song, but that's right.
It's a great song. All right. So what do we have left? Oh, actually, real quick, before we jump into any more songs, I want to talk about the music videos. First of all, the music videos are terrible.
They're stupid.
Like most 90s videos are.
Yeah.
I watched the Never Let You Go video too, and that one's just horrendous.
I didn't watch that one.
But it might have just been me thinking because, Steven, all the kind of like shady stuff he did to Kevin. When you watch those videos in the 90s, to me, it seemed like Kevin was cut out of a lot of parts. Like a lot of the shots were of Steven and Aaron. Most of the shots of the band were of Steven and Aaron, but it seemed like Kevin was cut out of a lot of stuff. Even the full band stuff,
shots. Yes.
Yeah, the band. Yeah. It would be like half of him, or he would be cut out completely. It would just be Brad, Aaron, and Steven. And it was so, to me, it felt like so glaringly obvious that he was cut out of it. And then after watching the videos, I read that when in the liner notes of the record that Kevin was even cut out of the picture there. Like Kevin's come out and said like, yeah, I was cut out. And then I fought to have my own picture on the liner notes of the record.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid. And then we didn't even talk about the fact that so when they got together, Kevin and Steven got together, it was known at that point that it was a 50-50 partnership. Yeah. They held songwriting credits equally. And then under Kevin's nose, Steven created an LLC, a corporation, where he held all rights to the band, artwork, songwriting, publishing, everything under Steven Jenkins LLC or whatever it was.
At like the 11th hour that they were supposed to sign like a big contract.
Exactly. Did it all under Kevin's nose. And it was a huge, huge thing. I mean, Kevin found out about it, was extremely hurt by it. And he just kind of stuck with the band because what is he going to do? Just completely abandon it, not tour. I mean, he could have done it and it would have been no shade on him because he had every right to do so, but he stuck it out.
Eat, right? Like you got to pay bills.
Exactly. But damn, dude, so shady on Steven's part. And of course, all the lawsuits that came after the fact, but that were settled out of court, undisclosed. But yeah, dude, it's crazy how much Steven was trying to push Kevin out from the start, down to the fucking album, down to the artwork.
Stupid. It gets so stupid.
Yes, I know.
Like, dude, you are not great without him. Yeah, you're not great without him. You are great with him. You're not great without him. And your genre of music, like, it shouldn't even exist in 97. Like, you should not be this popular in 97. Yeah. It just shouldn't.
And not only that, but dude, we're over 25 years on, and the fact that neither of them have spoken to each other, reconciled, or even spoken to each other outside of a cease and desist or a lawsuit or something like that. It's crazy, dude. Like, this is like some Jello Biafra, Dead Kennedy style kind of shit.
It really is.
But
spite.
I don't know. It's
at best.
But I really think it's more on Steven because when you look at it, like, what was it, like 6-7 years ago? All of the guys from Third Eye Blind outside of Steven decided, oh, let's just do like a fun one-off show playing the first record in its entirety just for fun. And it ended up being way bigger than they expected. They ended up having to like hire like a manager to play the show. I'm like, well, if people really want to see this, let's just do a quick little tour. And they did a quick little tour. Steven got all butthurt about it and got lawyers involved, and this, all this shit happened. But it's like clearly the common denominator unfortunately, is Steven. And
He's a dick.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to say he's a dick because the songs are. I mean, he's so good at what he did on this record.
He's so good at what he did. He's not good at what he does. He's good at what he did. And he's only good at what he did because he had his Mark, he had his Tom there to pull that out of him, right? Like that's why he was great, is because he had his counterpart there. And some say love, like true love, is your soul's recognition in its counterpart in another.
Oh my God, do not quote. I think that is out of all the Wedding Crashers quotes, quotes,
we've
never ever said that one. Wow. That is the first time. Yeah,
there
wow.
it is.
We've quoted just about every single line from the movie on the podcast, and that's the first time that one's been
there's never been an instance for it to come out.
That is terrible. That is such an extremely deep cut from Wedding Crashers.
For the true heads out there.
The true heads out there.
For the true heads out there.
The fanboy commentary, man. We got to do it. We got to do the Wedding Crashers
it's gonna
fanboy
be so
commentary.
Stupid.
The amount of times you and I have watched that movie together has been unreal. Okay, so should we just kind of run through the last of the songs and kind of wrap it up? Because what are we? An hour? I'd say an hour 35 right now.
Yeah, we can run through the last songs because the first song that we'll run through is Jumper, and we have to talk about Jumper, obviously.
Yeah. So what do you got on this one?
Jumper's my 11B.
That's my 11B as well.
Yeah. That's a perfect 11B because honestly, the 3Bs after that are the ones that I said earlier. Like you could take them out and I wouldn't be mad. I like listening to them. I love their melodies. But Jumper is truly, truly the last song that you cannot take out of this record, and that is just because of fucking. Like it's not just iconic. It's a good song. It's a good fucking pop song. It's well written. It is super catchy. It does a lot of things, but man, this song does not match anything on this record. Nothing about this song matches the aesthetic of this record, and it's just fucked in there, dude. It's like fucking in there. And really after Semi-Charmed Life? Come on, my guy.
I know. I mean, I think this is the last of the Beyond bangers on the record, even though it is my 11B. But the song is, you think it's going to be this like acoustic, like all just acoustic thing, but then the way Brad comes in with just kind of subtly playing the drums, like the open drums with the ride cymbal and everything like that, and then also when he drops into some of the verses, it's just like the single kick drum hits the doom, doom, doom. Like everybody's just playing to the song perfectly. Some really, really great guitar leads as well. And something really, really weird happened to me this week with this song.
Oh,
like just a really weird, odd coincidence that made me actually feel really, really strange. So I like it. Like it was,
I like the uncomfortableness.
I was very uncomfortable about a lot of parts of this whole experience, but it happened 2 days ago, and I went to Costco with Tammy, and on the way to Costco, we were listening to this record because I wanted to listen to it with her and like kind of throw ideas back and forth with her, which I do a lot of the time. So we're listening to this on the way to Costco. We go there, we do our shopping. As we're leaving, we're literally walking out of Costco, and I see this guy. From me, he was like 15 feet away from me. Actually, wait. Yeah, so I see this guy like 15 feet away from me. I'm like, this guy looks so fucking familiar. I could not place it. He had a beard, and I'm like, who is this motherfucker? And then this other guy next to me, like, accidentally, like, kind of bumps my cart. Like, he accidentally bumps my cart. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. And then the guy turns around and looks at me. This other guy turns around and looks at me, and I'm like, I know this guy. And we kind of looked at each other very briefly, and then he kept walking. And then as I'm walking, a minute passes by. I'm like, I know that guy from somewhere. And it was somebody I grew up with, this guy, John, who you know, John, for John Hudick.
John H?
Yeah, John Hudick. Yeah, I'll just say his for. Yeah, I just said.
I guess, okay.
But I haven't talked to him, like properly talked to him in like 12,
13
years. It was him. It clicked. It fucking clicked. It was John. And I haven't talked to one of my best friends growing up. Best friends.
You hung out with him constantly.
Constantly hung out with him. One of my greatest friends ever. And I didn't recognize because I didn't recognize the beard. He had this fucking beard. And the guy that bummed me was his boyfriend. And so it was just this weird thing, but we didn't recognize each other. And then I swear to you, when we got back to my car, the song Jumper came on, And one of the first, like when John and I were very young, because John's 2 years younger than us, and Jumper was a song that him and I used to make fun of a lot because we had our own lyrics to this song, and it was one of those songs that him and I bonded over. And when I got into the car, Jumper came on, and it was just this weird fucking coincidence. Like, and it fucked me up for like a good hour. And I kept telling Tammy, like,
that's a little fucking devastating.
It was so, like, even Tammy will say, like, why don't you reach out to him? And I'm like,
yeah, why did you fucking text him or call him or get out of your fucking car
just
and go talk to him?
I don't know. I just felt, I don't know. I just like the whole combination of it all, just kind of bumping into him, and then this song coming up when him and I had this connection with this song because we would always listen to this song. Him and I would always listen to the song Jumper and make fun of the lyrics, because we'd always say, because we were young and dumb in the 90s, we were like, I wish you would step back from that lesbian. We would always say lesbian instead of that ledge, my friend, and that was always our joke. We were like 10 and 8 years old, you know, a 10 and 8 year old. It was funny back then, but it was always something that him and I bonded, like, just would laugh about. But it was just this coincidence, a weird coincidence, big coincidence, some might say. That's not me.
Again, dude.
But I told Tammy, I said that because I said, was that John? And she's like, was it? And I said, I recognize the boyfriend because I've seen it on John's Instagram, and I showed her, and it's like, she's like, yeah, that was definitely them. That was 100%.
So what was John doing?
They were going into Costco as we were leaving Costco, and John's boyfriend, his cart bumped into my car. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. His boyfriend said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you guys. But I was so like fixated on John because I'm like, I know this guy.
What was he doing though? Why were they not like right next to each other? Was he, off to the side?
He was kind of like walking ahead. John was kind of walking ahead of him, but it was just the interaction. It wasn't even it was not even really an interaction. But
it's probably like 7 seconds of your life that
if
you
that
processed all of this information.
If that, and I was just, for like Tammy will say, like, for like an hour, I could not stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop. Like, and I said when the song came on, I stopped and I'm like, this is what happened. This is like between John and I. This song, this is kind of like.
And you still haven't reached out to him.
I didn't. I know, and it's too late now. It was like 2 days ago.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
I know.
Like literally, all you can do.
And now
is
we're talking about it right now. And now we're literally.
Hey, dude, I have a podcast. We do records every fucking week. This week we are doing Third Eye Blind, and for whatever fucking reason, the universe put me and you together as we're talking about Jumper.
It was one of the weirdest.
That shit.
It was one of the weirdest. It was so crazy to me. It sounds so insignificant to anybody listening to the podcast, but it was just so significant to me in that moment.
We all have these fucking weird times. Dude, there are times when I'm drinking and it's like 2:00 in the morning. I'm listening to like Plastilina Mosh and I hear that Castiga May song come on, and like I'll text like Kevin or I'll text like Moda, like another friend that I went to Mexico with, and I'll just text him a screenshot of the Spotify song. I'll say, "Remember? ? You remember." And like that is it. And like that's all you need sometimes. You give him those texts like you wake up and like, come, dude, fucking, why would you not fucking text this guy?
I don't know why I did. Because him and I, like, we'll DM each other like a couple times a year, just like memes or like just shit like that. But I don't know. There was something about this whole incident that just like I don't want to say it rattled me, but it just.
Because this is like recognizing that the older we get, the faces just get lost in the crowd and we lose these connections. And it's okay. It's sometimes it's okay just to be like, hey, dude, I remember you. Like, I don't want to have a relationship. I don't want to fucking call.
Well, it's not even that.
It's I want you to know that I remember you. And that is it. Right? Like, that's crazy, it.
Man. Yeah, it was wild.
That's all you need. That's all you need to do.
And like you said, it was, you said 7 seconds. Yeah, it all happened so quickly. But then my reaction to it for an hour or two later was just could not stop.
Foundational memories you're tapping into.
The fact that Jumper came on literally when we got it back into the car.
You're being wild right now. You're being wild and you're being spiteful. You're being a spiteful bitch right now.
And Tammy was so mad at me. She was like,
I'm mad.
when we were in the parking lot after I told her and I was talking to her about this, and she's like, why don't you reach out to him? Why don't you text him? Why don't you DM him? What was wrong with you? And then she was getting mad at me for not doing it.
I'm mad at you too right now. Like, clearly, like everybody's fucking mad at you. Just like again,
So John, who probably will never listen to this episode, I'm sorry I didn't reach out to you 2 days ago.
Foundational memory.
I'm sorry I didn't reach out to you 2 days ago.
These are core memories you're
Very,
tapping
very core
into,
memories.
right? Like you watch a movie where they're like, well, like Inside Out, like that Disney movie. We need to get into the core memories. These are core memories.
This one kind of is.
Like these are striking like serious chords, and you're just gonna ignore them.
I know.
That's
I did
something.
not think we would go on about this story for so long. Or the
It's an important story.
Anecdote.
It's an important story.
To me, it was just very bizarre. Anyway, Jumper. Let's move on. Where are we at? So let's get into.
I think move on, Jumper.
You're good. You're good at like going through the
Yeah,
list.
let's run through these. Jumper, we're good with. I'm gonna highlight that in red. That means we're done. Red is dead. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs. It's real quick here.
Yeah.
All right. One bite, everybody knows the rules. Thanks a lot. That's my 10B.
It's my 7B.
I'm obsessed with saying that one bite, everybody knows the rules thing now.
I love it too. Yeah.
All I fucking
Or
say now.
do you follow from Punk News?
John Gentili?
No, not John. Ricky Frankel. Ricky
No.
Frankel. He
I like
does
Ricky
it.
Frankel, though.
He has. I follow him on Instagram, and he does like a drink a day, like an energy drink or a soda, and he does one sip. Everybody knows the rules. And he just takes a picture of it, and then he puts one sip. Everybody knows the rules, and then he puts his rating on it. But he does it like every day.
That's
So,
good. I like that.
I
I like Ricky. He was him and John Gentili were the only reasons
and Tom
why,
Trauma.
right?
Yeah.
So Ricky Frankel and John Gentili were the only 2 reasons why I listened to Punk News podcast. But yeah, thanks a lot. That was my 10B. I love the guitar part on here. That's one of my favorite parts on the record too, like guitar wise. The first riff from this album that I learned, actually, like that guitar riff that he does, that was one of the first things that I learned when I started playing guitar when I was like, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 ish. So that was fun, I guess. I could probably still fake my way through it.
Yeah,
But-
it's a fun like mid-tempo jam, and just the way he sings like that falsetto. Thanks a lot. Just the da 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 da. It's just the kind of fluctuation. Da 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 da. It's just that scale maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about vocals or singing, so
Yeah,
I
it was
don't know.
cool. It's cool. I mean, the solo is great in this one. God, man, the guy just writes a concise solo. It's fucking amazing. And little harmonics at the end, like the boom, boom, boom. What are you doing over here, dude? Yeah, there's harmonics there at the end. So thanks a lot, 10B. Good for you. 13B, second to least favorite song.
Low beef definitely for me too. Yeah.
Great transition from Burning
13.
Man. Super funky. It's cool. Like Aaron's laying down like cool, fun bass lines. Kevin got some cool, funky chord chops. But 13B.
This is also I hear like during the verses it has that like quiet kind of ethereal thing. It sounds a lot like what Incubus was doing on the Make Yourself record. Just that it's that I don't know what effects he's using. It's probably obvious to a lot of other people, but I can't figure out what it is. But I hear a lot of Make Yourself on here. Some good bass slides, up and down the fretboard and everything. Some good stuff there. But in the end, it's this would be filler.
It's really good filler. And then it's kind of fun because this is one of the few times we hear Steven, I don't want to say half-ass it, but it sounds like half-ass in the chorus because he's kind of like, all everyone do is be there for the things that we're going through. Is it good for you? Right? Very monotone.
It is.
Very monotone.
So
very
good.
Demure. Very demure.
Dude, why are you doing the demure thing? This is like this stupid meme that's happening right now. Like, is
so
Kaylee doing
funny.
it a lot right now? Is that why?
No. Actually, I didn't even know what the fuck it was until I watched. Cause I watched all the local record stores videos they post, and Grace Records posted a video where some girl was like very demure. I was like, why the fuck does she keep saying demure? First of all, what the fuck does that even mean? And I looked it up and was like, oh yeah. And then when I looked it up, naturally, like my phone now shows me Instagram videos that are very demure. And then sometimes it's really funny, but then it was just that first video. I didn't know what it was. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was funny. Very demure.
Such a dumb meme. But it's very teenager thing. And now that you have teenagers, I figured it'd be either Nick or Kaylee that would bring it up.
Very demure. Moving on. London, yeah, just got a couple here. London. This is my 12B.
7 or 6B for me.
Yeah, 12. This is 6B.
This is my 6B. Yeah.
Wow,
it's so much fun to sing. There's so much fuzz on the guitar. It's like
It's the funnest thing because you just like shouting, "Don't want to go London, don't want to go London."
It's so much fun to sing.
So you want like a little punk rock song here.
It's a fun little punk jaunt. Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
It's good. It's fun. It's certainly fun.
All right. The background, that's my A-B. The background,
lower B. Just slow jam.
Killer intro though. Like I love
those hammer-ons
into. Yeah, dude.
So good.
But then we don't get an aggressive drop, right? It's nice just to have like a full sounding, I don't know, like ball drop. Like we don't. It's like you don't need an aggressive drop. Like it doesn't need to like punch into like something that's punk rock. It's nice to have a full sound type of thing. Like ready, orchestra, come in, go. Like that's nice.
This is also, I mean, outside of the pull-offs and hammer-ons that he does, which he doesn't do very often on this record, or even the second record on Blue. But so there's all that, but there's also a lot of bluesy stuff here. A lot of bluesy little guitar playing and riffs. Yeah, it's probably one of the most bluesy songs on the whole record. So it's very unique in that sense. But in the end, in the context of the record, it's very low tier B.
It's just the way like they come in after like, cause you're coming swimming into view, and then doom, right?
Joom.
Like that's just Joom. Like, Jeum. Joom.
That's so annoying.
Joom. And then 14, my final banger, my 14B is God of Wine, the closer, the last song.
I mean, it's a good song, but it doesn't. Motorcycle Drive-By would have been the perfect closer.
Correct.
You don't need God of Wine.
It's fine. You don't need God of Wine. It's a good song, great song. It's a banger. I love this song.
Should have been a B-side.
There's some Angels in the Airwaves kind of notes going on here that I kind of got some of that going there. But yeah, you don't need it here.
Not necessary.
Yeah. Not necessary.
All right. So let's give our final thoughts on Third Eye Blind's Third Eye Blind. Rate the record based off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album but give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So what do you got, Jeff? Go.
Joom. This is I actually got this CD too when it came out. My mom was already a part of Columbia House CD club.
Love Columbia House.
Dude, come on, bro. Like you fucking, as long as you paid and like wrote down what you wanted, like Columbia House was the shit, right? It was like $50 a year, whatever the fuck it was, and you got 10 CDs a year for like a penny. But as long as you realize that you need Joom, you realize you need to
so annoying.
Tell them what records you want. Otherwise, they would send you just fucking Kenny G bullshit. As long as you're on top of it, it was a great subscription. But yeah, this was one that my mom got early on, and I've liked it ever since. I have nothing but good memories associated with this record, not just like familial things, right? Like my mom listening to it and just, you know, like when you're young and like it's a Friday night and like your mom's not out or your parents aren't out, and like everyone's at home, maybe doing their own thing, but like that like family kind of setting where everyone's there in the same room on a Friday night, doing their own thing, hanging out together. Like that's a core memory too. We're talking about core memories too. Yeah, it's tapping into that thing. Hot topic buzzword. It's
a very, very big buzzword. Certainly is.
But like it definitely makes sense here in this I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
In this context, yes. But then like branching off from that and like as you mature, your taste mature with you. And this one went from like, oh, I fucking love Jumper as a 10-year-old, because like as a 10-year-old, I did love Jumper. It was a fucking amazing song. It's easy to get into. It's catchy. It's fun. And it's easy to play on the guitar. And so nobody can play the guitar. So as you get older, we got to
do Skrillex too. We've never done Skrillex. That's for after pod talk. Never. Okay. Sorry.
As you get older, you start to pick out different things from records that you love, but you still love them. Mm-hmm. And I guess the more time that passes between 10-year-old me and now fucking almost 40-year-old us, maybe
37. Okay, calm down, relax.
We're like 37. 40.
We're 37.
Almost 40 sounds cool.
We're almost 40, but we're 30. We're 37.
Almost 40 me. I'm pulling out different things from this record. I'm pulling out different notes. I'm pulling out different tones, different concepts, different feelings. But overall, it's still the same fucking top 40 90s Madonna, fucking Taylor Swift of this era. Like that's just what this shit is, dude. It's It's the 90s Lizzo, it's the 90s Taylor Swift, it's the 90s top 40 kind of shit, right? Like there's nothing crazy about this.
There isn't,
It
but
just
it's so
happens to
perfect.
be really, really fucking good.
Yes.
And that's a feat in of itself. We talk about Pitbull and how great Pitbull
We
is.
talked about
We
that.
talk
before,
about
yeah.
Flo Rida. We talk about all these guys that can crank out tunes that are like, dude, that's
so
a fucking good. Black Eyed Peas, dude, they're kind of top 40 too.
Yeah.
But like none of these guys ever had a record that was this deep, this complex, this perfect.
True. They had singles. But they didn't have
Yes.
like full records of just banger, 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 banger.
And nobody would fault Third Eye Blind if this record came out and it was Jumper and Semi-Charmed Life, and those were the only two fucking bangers. If the rest of this record was just like, that was okay. If the rest of this record was like Harvey Danger, or I guess some of the pod peoples, if the rest of this record was Everclear and Marcy Playground, like nobody would fault them because those two songs would still be great. But like, no, dude, this record is chock full of bangers, and that it's just
every fucking song is a banger.
Like that's something, man. That's something. This record is perfect. It is perfect through and through. Not for anything else, and just make a good record. Like you don't gotta fucking try and reinvent the wheel. Just make a good record, dude. And that's what you did.
And
you never did it again. You never even came close.
No,
because that's what Blue was. Blue was like
Blue started
very
so strong.
A very small collection of banger songs, and it was like, that record kind of sucks. But because those songs were so strong, we still talk about Blue. We still talk about Third Eye Blind. Third Eye Blind has a career. Honestly, Third Eye Blind has a career because of Blue. That's true.
Wait, because of Blue?
Because of Blue. Because it's easy to peter off after you're first. If you make one record that's great,
I see what you mean.
And you suck after that, then you're done. But because Blue had a couple great hits, they made a career out of that.
Yeah,
okay,
you're right.
Okay, we can still go forward. We can still make money. Because it's hard to make money just off of one record, but it's easy to make a little bit of money off a lot of records.
Also, Stephen Jenkins said recently that that the crowds that they're bringing are way bigger than they were 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, because we're dying. We're dying for 90s right now.
That's true.
Because,
the nostalgia is hitting so hard. Yeah.
Our age group, our almost 40 age group, we have disposable income, and we're trying to get at that nostalgic factor, right? We want to get back into the concert scene. We want to see the Summer Gods tour where it's Yellow Card and fucking touring with Third Eye Blind, which is so weird. Fucking weird.
That's just showing he's burned so many bridges. You know what I mean?
Have you seen any of those interviews or any of those like puff pieces, or what do you call them? Like those promo spots where it's Stephen Jenkins and Ryan Key sitting next to each other?
No, I haven't.
Dude,
is it awkward?
It's so weird. Oh, it's so fucking weird. Because Ryan's talking about like, yeah, dude, like the reason I got into music is watching bands like you, dude. I love fucking your first record. And Stephen's like, yeah.
Just brushing it off, being a dick. Oh,
and it's just like, dude, you're a weirdo, man. Ugh.
Annoying. Yeah. All right. My final thoughts on this one. Damn, that was a long record wrap up. But
kind of went a bunch of different ways.
It's fine. So I'm not gonna go too far into the repeating myself, but not that you did it, but I'm not gonna do it myself. Great record. It's just what did you rate the record? You didn't rate it based off of our world famous 3-point rating system where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're gonna continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album but give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. What'd you give it?
This is fun because the rating system that we have in place is foolproof, right? It is
100%
fucking gospel. Like our rating system makes more sense than the Bible, than the Quran, than anything else.
Yes, Torah, everything.
So when we rate something a 3, like sometimes even if I don't love every track on a record, I'll still rate it a 3 because of what it did for the scene, for music, for me, whatever it is, right? That's fine. This is one of those records that it didn't do anything for anybody other than just be a really fucking good record.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a perfect 3 because that's what really like the rating system is kind of in place for. Is just every song on this is a banger. Every song on this I love. And yes, we talked about you can take a couple songs off and I wouldn't be mad, but I probably would miss them. I would probably like, man, remember God of Wine? That was a pretty fucking good song. It's like, this is a good, perfect, like poster child for a 3. Every song on this, it's good. It's perfect.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
My, man. Yeah. My final thoughts. This is This is truly, it didn't define any generation. It didn't define any musical genre, but they just did everything so fucking well. And to me personally, there's so much nostalgia being a kid as a 10-year-old up through now, literally. Like, just I even have nostalgia from this week. I have nostalgia just from this week, just listening to this record.
Your fucking core memory tapped that you had.
Yes,
at
like
Costco.
just dude, and isn't that so like it's so adult too? Saying I had this thing happen at Costco today or at Costco this week. It's like, dude, how mundane and vanilla and boring is fucking life? Where I'm bringing up an incident at Costco. Jesus Christ.
Why you I feel like you're terrified of just getting old and being
I'm not terrified. No, not at all. I'm not terrified of it at all.
It's just like the whole like the we are almost 40.
We are,
like
yeah.
That, you want to brush that off, and like tapping into a core memory where you don't even want to like acknowledge to somebody like, hey dude, I just want to acknowledge that you were a big part of my life. I don't fucking ever want to talk to you again. That's
no,
fine.
it's not even that. It's not even that at all.
You were just afraid of getting old.
I guess I'm just afraid of talking to people I haven't talked to in a long time. That's all it is.
If you're lucky, you get old and die. Like
yeah,
that, if you're
true.
fucking lucky, you know what I'm saying?
I get it. But anyway, yeah, the Third Eye Blind. This is musically, it's so fun. It's so exciting. Melodically, it's just one of the catchiest records of all time.
All time.
It really is. I don't give a
song.
fuck, man.
Oh
Every song has its own identity, which a lot of bands and albums can't say that. Just every song has its own identity. You could pull it out, throw it on a playlist, anything like that. It's a perfectly crafted album, and just sound quality wise, production wise, everything sounds so amazing. It's a perfect sounding record, and it's a perfect album in general. I don't care. Perfect album all around, hands down. Not going to go more into it. Perfect record.